All right, yeah, this is the first podcast with
Patrick Gorman.
Pat Gorman, and yeah, we're here to talk about the art show.
Word.
And what's going on there?
Nothing, man. I'm pumped about it. I'm super pumped about it. I mean, 8 to 4 tomorrow. I got around 60 pieces that I'm going to be displaying.
Wow, 60?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are small, though. I mean, I kind of wanted to bridge the gap between, people like me who, don't have a shit ton of money and, aren't going to be, wanting to spend $100, $200 on a piece of art, but who like art and like art enough to show up to something like this and, want an original piece of art. That's what I would want. I mean, I'd want to spend $15 to $30 on a little piece of art, and that's kind of what I want to provide. I mean, I want to have the people like me who, work 40 hours a week, don't really like their fucking job, but, would like to have something original and something that they know I've poured some shit into, so.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I'll buy posters online that are $30, $35.
Yeah.
And if I could get a piece of original art,
mm-hmm.
I really don't see what the comparison is, especially if it's someone that I can get to meet out at an art show and kind of get to know a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, if those people give me the opportunity, I'll talk their fucking ear off about an 8-inch piece of art.
Yeah, no, that is why we're here.
Word.
So I guess where does it all come from? Why are you making art in the first place? What's the drive?
Where does it? I mean, it doesn't really. It comes from. I mean, I do it, but it doesn't really come from myself. You know what I mean? If I play that dangerous game of viewing myself as the source of some sort of creative material, whether or not others view it as good or not, then I'm playing a dangerous game with my ego of, putting value on myself rather than the healthy distance from my work that I should maintain to also retain sanity. I don't know. Sometimes I bounce back and forth a lot. I mean, more often than not, I'm I create and I do my art so that I can continue to create and doing my art because it isn't a destination-oriented task. It's something that I do so I can keep doing it, so that I can keep doing it. That, the task of being in it and creating in it is where I get my worth and where I feel that sort of bond to it. I mean, when I sit down and start working on something and I'll sit down and there's times where I don't want to draw, but I know I should, and I'll be tired and I'll start drawing, and 15, 20 minutes in, I won't even, I'll realize that I'm already kind of in the zone, and I'm kind of, okay, this is why I'm drawing again, I forgot, I'm in it, I'm glad I fucking showed up and started drawing when I didn't want to, and I finally feel it, and then I'm what would happen if I, let myself take over then and just said I'm going to be lazy and nap, you know what I mean? Because I want to. I love sleeping, but I can sleep whenever the fuck I want. I can... Come here, kitty. I mean, it's... I don't know. Especially, after, watching... I feel I learned, seeing Johnny Greenwood perform with Radiohead, and I feel watching it, I feel I was watching him in his room. And I was this dude is it's like watching a mad scientist concoct some awesome fucking, mixture, and it's I feel I mean, they have a lot of, Radiohead has a pretty big volume of stuff, and, they have those basement recordings as well, and I feel Johnny Greenwood is, he's creating because it's not it's the only thing he knows how to do. I guarantee you could put him, working retail or working in a fucking frozen yogurt shop, and he'd do it, but he would be fucking miserable, and he would know that something is being stifled, something there's that need, and, and maybe I'm projecting just, a lot of my own ambitions and thoughts about creativity from 30 yards away on a professional musician, but...
I mean, there's no problem, though. That's what you're trying to be.
Yeah.
So that you should aim for something like that. Mm-hmm. You should aim so high. You should probably aim even higher.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely... There's this... The relationship with it is, I do it to do it, but I'm also okay if I do it. I'll be okay if I do it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you gain a lot of inspiration from, other artists.
Sure. I mean, I do believe, that there's that inherent connection that I believe that within, differences are illusions, and there's that interconnectivity that underlies everything, and to see an artist, or to see someone doing something, and when I say artist, most people think, a musician or a painter, but to see anyone doing something that they care about or that they're like, you know, honestly enjoying and like they're in it and they're very in the moment, that that in itself makes me like restore some of that faith, because I know that I'm capable of being in that zone as well. I can tell myself that I might not be, but
that's the place that everybody tries to get, right? Is where you really feel totally absorbed in whatever you're doing, to where like nothing else matters. You know, I've done it with video games. I've done it with a number of things where the rest of the world just totally dissolves, and that's just all that there is. So, as someone who has never done that with being able to put it in form, I guess with art, I can't even imagine having something that I need to communicate on that level in like a visual medium. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that sometimes. I just feel like it's like video games to me, but like the product, like it just happens to be that like me playing video games ends up in like a fucking drawing of like a chakra or like a stencil painting or, you know, like a random object that happened to, you know, look aesthetically and visually appealing. You know,
so you just get lost in something, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, there's just this thing produced on the page.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of that. You know, I would say yes, I get lost, and it is an escape. But I mean, I feel like to a lot of people that would seem like an unhealthy way. Like I'm blotting out the truth of my life, or I'm blotting out that I need to, you know, pay my bills and do all the generic bullshit everyone needs to do. But that's really not the case. I mean, that escape and that like experience of being like in that moment of drawing and creating and like kind of feeling one with it and like very much letting it happen and not trying to stifle it or control it too much, makes all those moments when I like have to pay my bills or I have to drive to work and, you know, the car sounds like shit, but I know that's okay because I'm okay because I felt that bond and that connection, you know,
in the first place.
Yeah, I'm living to do that work.
That seems right to me. You know, that's a place where it should come from, at least. You know, like you shouldn't have to be worried about all those other things when you're making a piece of art, any piece of art. You shouldn't have to be worried about paying bills or, you know, making any kind of payment.
If she likes me or if I'm gonna get a raise at work or if my boss is pissed at me. I mean, I will think of those things. Those things will creep in if you know, if I kind of like am not in the right mindset. I mean, sometimes I don't have control of it, but when it does creep in, immediately within like,
oh, that's great. Yeah, how do you deal with that?
Within 30 seconds, I can see the quality change. You know, if I'm carving something on a stencil, or if I'm making a stroke with a paintbrush or a pen, it like will quiver a little bit, and there'll be like maybe be a shake in the line, but it feels so different. I'm like, my heart is not being poured into it. It's like I am too distant from it because I'm absorbed in my day-to-day bullshit, you know?
Okay, so how do you get to that space then? Because it seems like so much every day you could just let that, I mean, everybody, most people are absorbed by their everyday. Sure. How do you create that kind of space where you're able to breathe? Yeah, I mean, maybe that's me just being a tortured, suffocating artist. But just, you know, just that space where you, I feel like a lot of people are like that, though.
Yeah, I feel like
that space where you can breathe.
Sure, that's definitely a lot of people are like that. And I feel like if that's like the day-to-day struggle that we all have to put up with, and it's not enough to just be like, this is life. Like, life's a bitch and then you die. I mean, I love Biggie Smalls, man, but
so
that's
right.
bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I mean, like I was in Boston and I saw some graffiti and it was like, shit's a bitch and then you live. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I got it.
Flipping it.
Yeah, flipping it. And I got to, the biggest part of that is I got to fucking show up. I heard Elizabeth Gilbert do a TED Talk one time about creativity and success within creativity. And she's like, just please show up. You know, you got to show up. And if creativity shows up, and fuck yeah, creativity will show up. I mean, if creativity had never shown up, I don't think anyone would be creating, and we live in this fucking 1984 V for Vendetta bullshit world, and fantastically, that's not the case.
So, I mean, that's, like, already there. So, for you, it's just about showing up.
Yeah, it is.
And then that's just, you're going to breathe onto it. Like, you don't, it's not about creating a space where you need to. I mean, it's already going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's more about having to make it.
Sure.
Make it so.
I guess it's about making it part of my day-to-day thing. Part of my day-to-day routine. I have a sign on my, like a little thing I drew on my wall that just says, have you drawn today? and it guilt trips me. I'll be like, if I haven't drawn and I'm tired, I went to work or whatever, and I come home and I want to go to sleep, and it's like, okay, fuck, I'm just gonna draw a little doodle, and then like 2 hours later, I'm like, I just drew for 2 hours, and it's like, luckily I get to like feel that, that slip.
I mean, I have to do things for that, like clean the apartment. I have a fucking sign that says, like, take out the trash.
You can see the side effects of it, man, because my sink right now is fucking full of dishes. It's the smell affects my roommate. But,
I know. You got to make trade-offs.
Yeah, they do. I got to...
It's where you place your importance.
Yeah, my head can be in the clouds, but I do need to have my feet on the ground.
Chop wood, carry water.
Exactly.
You gotta do both things all the time, but...
Sure.
Well, what we're here for is the fire.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't, I would love for it to be fire all the time, and I would love for it to just be like, always in this like creative moment where I feel like I am out of self, and it's not the case, and of course it's not the case because I'm a human being, and just as everyone else is, and I have to accept the bullshit of life, and there's that balance that we're talking about of I'm not going to know value unless I know devalue emptiness without, with something.
It is an earlier conversation on sobriety.
Sure.
Right, yeah, no. Probably should bring that in. You are sober.
I am sober. I've been sober almost 3 years now. October 1st will be 3 years clean and sober.
Hey, and right on, man. Props.
Thanks,
big ups. When you're completely removed from the moment and you just kind of get to drip paint on a canvas, whatever.
That is my best. Definitely some of the best stuff happens there. And it happens, but I have to show up, and I have to, kind of turn it out and, just kind of fucking beat it into submission. I mean...
So, okay, does it happen all at once, or is this something that you do and then you come back to and you fix and you touch up and you tweak, or is it just something that, all of a sudden you're just like, boom, this needs to happen, and it's there?
No, it's never, I wish it was. I mean, I would definitely see myself as some sort of artistic genius, but no, it's a slow and steady and smooth process of usually over an hour or two of not rushing it and just kind of spinning it around and looking at the page and then looking away from it for 3 or 4 seconds and kind of and then looking back in it and pulling myself out a little bit and pulling myself out of getting too intricate with it and then kind of letting it breathe as if I'm dealing with some sort of thing that's if it was a conversation or if it was a dance, I'm not going to try to force, my favorite part of the dance might be the end when, I'm really close to get to hold the girl in the epic pose with the, the golden dress and it looks like I'm about to kiss her or whatever, but I don't get to that point without taking each step in stride and timed correctly.
You think that hits for other people always?
No, I don't. I mean, there are,
pieces that you've really felt great about, but that haven't really hit.
Sure. Yeah, and success is a strange thing. Success is a very strange thing like that. I mean, there's stuff that I really like that I see people, and I know everyone's taste varies and everyone likes different things. I'm not anyone to say what's cool or not.
Right on. I mean, it's silly to try and for
but
sure.
I'll draw something and I'll be doing something and a friend will be like, oh, dude, that one looks cool. And I'll be like, that one isn't half as cool as this one over here. And it's success for me, I mean, I think we've talked about this, success, when you say success, and you say success to the average person on the side of the street, it'd be like, what is success to you? Usually financial is definitely an issue. I'm going to have a lot of money. I'm going to have a lot of money, so I don't have to worry about buying shit. I'm going to have a lot of money so I can buy the necessities, car, food.
Yeah, maintain.
Yeah, but also I want more on top of that. I want to be able to go to Disney World every summer with my kids.
Luxuries are nice.
Yeah. But success is, success doesn't just have to be that. I feel like success can also be, that's a good success. I do enjoy and I'm grateful for the success of being able to pay my bills and being able to go out to eat sometimes. That's fun. I like to do that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking that seems base.
Yeah,
at least to most people who grind and strive to get somewhat above that. An artist's life is, I don't know, semi-mundane otherwise, except for their art.
Definitely.
And that's what is valuable and creative out of these people, because that's what they value more than these people who are just working a day job.
Sure.
Well, as someone who's working a day job.
Yeah.
So where does the value come out of that?
The value comes in, I love that you use the word mundane because it does seem like that. You know, if I was to tell a person that, what do you do? I'm like, well, I draw. They're like, okay. So, like, what do you do?
Is that mundane to you?
To me, it is the complete, like, no, it isn't. It is normal, but an exercise, and
see, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't get there.
It's fucking a challenge, and there's gonna be things that I fuck up, and things that are gonna be there's gonna be shitty pieces of art. There's gonna be a lot of shitty pieces of art. Charles Schultz, dude that wrote Peanuts, that had some quote that was equivalent of like every artist has like 1,000 or I don't remember, like a couple thousand shitty pieces of art that they're gonna make. It's best to get those out of the way as quick as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
right
on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the guy who's fucking Charles Schultz. The dude's amazing.
For sure.
You know, he's got a lot of soul to his work.
I saw Picasso's early sculptures in the Nasher, because of Dallas,
Sure.
whatever, the Nasher Sculpture Garden, and they had Picasso's early works down in the basement. I was like, these are shit. I don't know, like, I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, this seems so ridiculous to me. But for some reason, he's famous and makes a ton of, like, these things are invaluable because they were part of his process of coming to this culmination.
And I think that, success doesn't have to be everyone likes my shit. And everyone wants to buy my shit. Success can be knowing that I feel close and with that creativity when I'm in that moment of creating the art, and I feel that healthy distance, and I'm almost like seeing myself do it. I'm like looking at myself. I'm not having an out-of-body experience. That'd be cool, but I'm not doing that. I'm having this experience where I'm like feeling that breath of creativity breathe through me, and it's this sense of like, what did I do to get here? I'm like I've done some fucked up shit. I'm a pretty flawed person. I've been so selfish, but I still am granted this moment of creativity where I can like be in awe of it and like let it happen. And that's what gets me, and that's what like makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's just like
I mean, as like a mundane worker who works in a warehouse, that is, I feel like what people seek more than anything is that type of expression, and most of us can't get that, and that's why we look to the artists to kind of bring us to that kind of peak.
I mean, and that healthy distance of creating art is, I get that from other people's artwork. I get that from watching fucking 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's Stanley Kubrick's work, and I watch it, and I'm like,
how does that work? How does that translate to you into something that's as meaningful as something that you could do?
It translates.
That's so valuable. Sorry, it's just so valuable.
Yeah,
like
sure, definitely. I mean, sometimes it translates as simply as that level of meaning and depth and creativity is possible. It's capable. I want to show up if I can get a fraction of that, and
that's worthwhile.
Yeah, it's worthwhile. Yeah. If someone can feel or see a fraction of that when looking at a piece of my art, then I'm doing something right.
I mean, I've seen the only piece I've seen is it was like a pyramid, an eye, very projective. I mean, it's the same kind of feeling you get when you watch a moving movie that, like, really, it moves into your life in a different way, where it's not just a flat piece. It's even more than three-dimensional, because it, like, impacts you.
Yeah. No, that special part of you, it calls out and beckons to you, and you connect. I feel like that's what connection is, It's like that something deeper within that calls out to it, and you feel that connection, and there's emotions that are tied to that, and, like, if that's not the meaning of art and creativity, and then I don't know what is, man. I mean, like I sit and like to see success on my level, and like of like a friend seeing it, or like myself seeing it and being like, there's potential here. I see something good here, or like a friend being like, dude, that's awesome.
That's
like,
that's the place you're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at, and I get so much out of that, and that is a big factor in when I'm like down on myself, or like. And I feel like I shouldn't make art. It's like,
But that's enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is enough. I mean, it's definitely enough. I mean, every artist wants to live off their work. I definitely would love to just wake up and paint and meditate and eat and then shit and then go to sleep and probably shower every couple days.
Love
you
it.
know?
Love it.
But that's just not the truth for me right now, and that's okay. I mean, that's, I'm not given life on a silver platter.
Certain things you have to deal with.
Sure. Yeah.
You're not Banksy.
Yeah, I'm not Banksy. And I would be a fool to not accept those normal parts of life. I would be a fool.
Right.
And I wouldn't create and I wouldn't grow.
Wow.
To,
And I think that's the greatest part for any artist who could hear this right now, is that as much as you want to be that kind of part of the movement or whatever, it's,
Sure.
you are just something that's adding to a greater whole. So
definitely, man, and that's keeping it in perspective. I mean, that's keeping it in a very healthy perspective. I mean, it needs to, success is fantastic. Financial success would be fantastic, and all that, and like personal and like connective success. But it comes down to it, man. It's like, for some reason, I feel like this is something that that needs to be done for me to be okay. I can see it in my life. If I go a week without drawing, I'm an irritable son of a bitch.
Hey, it's not just something that's needed for you. It's something that's needed for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
And that's, I don't know, artists, big part of my life, big part of everybody's life. Should probably be a bigger part.
Yeah,
I love you guys. And,
Word.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know. I think it's been great, man.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Word.
It's Aaron White and
Patrick Gorman.
Right. This is a great cast.
Word.
Hope to see more in the future. Right on. And now for the first song. This is Burry and Evans with The Broken Promise.
Takes its toll as you begin to grow. 'Cause good guys never win. Turning the other cheek is not respected by the powers that be in the limelight. River flow into my soul, which is so dry as to begin to crack the very heart and lie inside the dark of what has been hidden. I will never say goodbye. I will never see the light. But there is hope, so they say, just keep running. And on that day when it becomes obvious they are lying. What will you do? When everything that's been promised to you is thrown by the wayside.
All right, so we are here with Brian Bedford, mural painter at Gioia. Brian, say hi to the folks again.
Hello.
All right, and you painted the mural for the event.
Yes, I did. It was a very, very active experience.
Right, and you didn't get to finish it the night of because the paint had trouble drying, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily convinced I was going to finish it, but I knew I wanted to get a lot up there, and I was lucky enough to be able to get a lot of spatial stuff up there to show kind of the whole audience what was going to be there. And then, yeah, I didn't get as far as I was planning, though. That's a fact.
Well, you got the composition laid out for sure. We could see the pieces, and we got to see what went into the, I guess, the formation of the piece in the whole and the laying down of the tape. And we just got to watch the tearing off of the tape, which was awesome.
Thank you.
Rays of light bursting through. I'm really excited for the 4-minute video. Is that 4 minutes? Is that about what it's going to be?
I think that's an appropriate amount of time. If it's under 8 minutes, I think it's not going to bore anybody. But if I can get it into like a 2-minute format, that'd be awesome. But I don't know the ratio of hours to minutes when it comes to fast forwarding capabilities. So I gotta look into that.
And we're talking about Brian's going to put up a time-lapse video of the entire creation of the mural, which should be awesome to see. You want to talk a little bit about where you got the inspiration for this piece? What made you want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the listener here can't see it, but what we're looking at is...
They can. They just have to go online. It's out there.
All right. Perfect. I'm now grasping everything. So, yeah, I mean...
Talk to them like they can see it, because I'm assuming everybody right now is just pulling it up on whatever device they're listening to this on.
Awesome. All right. Well, you're looking at a landscape, clearly. I'm all in when it comes to performing with colors. I just think just like with music, if I were to be performing music, I'd want bright melodies. I'd want something catchy. I'd want to just be feeding the happy emotion inside of people, and I think bright colors, particularly emphasizing the primary colors, I think that just connects us all to something so basic that it's transcendent and it's sort of cathartic way, I guess. So my goal here was to create a landscape that was dramatic and also very colorful. And I was lucky enough to have gone recently to Hawaii.
Right on. And
I was camping there, and we were just exposed to some of the most beautiful juxtapositions of color I've ever seen in life, naturally. I mean, there was just exotic colors working together wherever you looked. So it was surreal, and so that's, I guess, a lot of the driving motivation of what makes me want to make a landscape like this.
That's what I heard from everybody that I talked to about your piece last night, was that, wow, it's so bright. There's so many colors. Both of your pieces that you had on display, you really put an emphasis on using the whole palette and the full range, and that's awesome, because it really impacts you in a different way than something that's just kind of two-tone or monotone. You cross the full range. I mean, you've got the mountains over here with the darkness, and it's going to be the lava, the lights bursting forth, and then the green lushness over here on the other side. So it's amazing composition.
Thank you.
What was it you said earlier about colors, Hawaii being the only place?
Yeah, I mean, I bought a bunch of bright colors for this piece, and the thought was, what kind of landscape could I create where colors this vibrant would ever coexist? And it's like only in Hawaii, man.
Yeah. And you showed me the process earlier where you took
source photos.
Yeah, a bunch of different source photos and combine them all into one landscape.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all from different, like, completely pure things. But in Hawaii, I imagine you actually could kind of see these kind of things next to each other, just that abruptly, or no?
Right, and yes, and maybe this exact layout doesn't exist, but I mean we were we were next to, I mean, within 45-minute drive, one coast had this, one coast had that. I mean it was just impeccable landscape. I mean, jungle waterfalls to volcanic ash, not ash, volcanic lava glow and flow. And,
wow.
I mean it was all close.
And you totally did it right too. I mean, I know a lot of people like go to Hawaii on vacation or whatever, but like, yeah, you went guerrilla style, I guess.
That's right. We didn't really want to get exposed too much to the westernization of Hawaii. That's kind of one of the biggest problems the locals have over there, is dealing with the way that, I mean, no disrespect to America, but we do love consumption, and we do love marketing, and we do love drawing a crowd, and that's not really what Hawaii is about at all. It's about the spirits that run the beautiful planet that we exist on, and it's a place there where all elements, land, water, fire, and sky, they're all constantly in interchange there. I mean, there's lava that's constantly creating new land flowing out of a volcano. I mean, as it hits the water, it's creating both steam and heat and landforms all at once.
Just a world of constant change, more so. You talked to me about the spirit of the place and just how friendly everyone was there. And you were saying how you wanted to move there, and just like, yeah, it's the best place in the world. What made it so?
I mean, really, it was the attitude of the locals. It was the people who really understood what Hawaii was. There was just this larger truth that was there, and I think that's there all the time, and we're only allowed to be opinionated in that matter.
Not just in Hawaii.
Right, yeah. And that's one of the main goals of my art. I'm deeply spiritual when it comes to my art, because I don't really feel comfortable being accountable to knowledge and understandings that I've come to learn through personal experiences and trials and just deep interactions with where we are. I feel accountable to acknowledging that I do know with certainty that there are just wonderful forces at play, and there are bad forces at play. And in Hawaii, everyone accepts that life is way beyond what you can see. I mean, one of the reasons I love art is, I am one of the more oxymoronic things that I do on a regular basis is try to explain in conversation how a lot of what I understand, a lot of what drives me, a lot of what soothes me, a lot of what helps me sleep at night is truths that cannot be reached in conversation, and they were truths that I didn't find in conversation.
Right, that's why we turned to art.
Right, and I'll sit there and talk, and it's just on repeat, because at the end of the day, it has to come outside of that. There has to be something within the interpersonal experience that recognizes something on their own, and then in their own mind, their own conscious existence here, in relating with everything, they have to grasp exactly what they're doing in relation to all these other energies that are out there. And that's something that really can't be attained in conversation, and that's one of the forces that really distracts, I think, a lot of people from really grasping the truth on a constant basis. We all get glimpses of it, and we feel inspired in certain moments, but then we lose that throughout the day. We've got things to worry about, we've got bills to pay, we've got children to feed, and one of the reasons I love painting is because it's a dialogue that happens in your mind. I mean, as long as you continue looking at it, you'll find something else that I'm still saying to you in my pieces, and that is a conversation that I think we have psychically through the artist and audience relationship, and I value that very, very deeply. So my art tries to reflect that.
Yeah, right on. Well, what you want your art to evoke this happy emotion, but I mean, I guess a little more than that. What going off the star, I guess, more than the mural.
Okay.
Where's the connection there? If you want to talk
as far
about
as what truths am I trying to express there? Or I guess I got a little lost with what you define as the connection when you're referring to that piece.
Well, as you were talking about earlier, it's that idea.
The dialogue between.
Right.
So what's the conversation there?
Right. For the mural, I think it's pretty clear that it's a landscape piece. It's bright. It's vivid. It's supposed to make you see contrast and beauty right next to each other, and all the different aspects of life that can be brought together in some beautiful form. And
Right.
I thought that was so awesome of something that you did. When you showed me the process, I was like, wow, that's what we did at the show. Like that we brought all these different artists in who are these different beautiful extremes of nature, and we somehow put them all in the same building, and
it was majestic. I mean, it
and
really
that's
was.
what this
Right,
is. Like
right,
to me,
thank
it's
you,
the
yes,
culmination
yes.
of the thing is this piece.
Oh, that's awesome thing
But,
to say. Thank you so much.
But if we could talk about the star just for a minute, what's the drive, the impetus, the motive behind that?
All right. Well, basically, the star piece kind of sets the platform for the idea of a conversation that happens psychically. I'm trying to express mysticism in that piece, and that's it's quite a thing to try to express. But it's what drives so much of my art that it would be ludicrous for me to spend hours in the studio and not be expressing that, because I mean that's what I have to offer to the conversation. So with specifically that piece, there's a woman figure, and the whole inspiration for this piece comes from a tarot card.
The star, right?
The star, right, and that's why I named it. Specifically? Well, the deck that I saw, the original image that inspired me before I went and researched other images, on this woman, was the Aleister Crowley's deck, and I can't actually recall the artist's name that accompanies him, but she's very talented and very symbolic. And basically, the star provides a sense of defining a place where she from her own subconscious, she has her own highest point that all of her morals and all of her understandings of her spirituality come from inside of her, things that she's had to come to know to be true. So she sits alone by a lake, basking in the light of her own star, and she represents kind of the independent mystic who has acknowledged that jumping into the world that we see with our plain eyes. I mean, blind people, they don't even see the world we see. How can we think that that's it? Because they're alive and they don't see the world.
They clearly have it.
So there's so much there. Yeah,
wow.
I envy. I wish I could make more of a connection with. I'm not going to get into what I want to do with art and people with visual impairments. But
yeah, don't do that.
No, yeah, that's another podcast, because we've got a time that we're trying to.
All right, yeah, no, for sure.
And I'm still talking about
power through.
Yeah, we'll go back to the mysticism. Basically, she has to separate herself. She's at a lake. She's off near nature, and she's basking in her what she knows to be truth. And she's had to completely remove herself from society to do that. And that's what I'm trying to capture. Is there's this chaotic background that could represent whatever you want. That's literally how I feel about it. But to me, I see a representative of the chaos that is all these energies trying to work together. But even though all these different colors happen to make beauty and chaos, there's no real harmony sometimes, except for the accidental way that everything sort of plays into each other, even those bad and good things that we don't realize are working together. And so that's what the lines in that piece symbolize. They're a guide of concept. So they direct you through her heart and then up through her mind, her thought and crown chakra. And
that's
then
the spiral coming out of the top left.
No. These are the lines that are the really thin straight lines. They're what I consider the concept guides. They're the flow of the piece. They're like, if you're gonna really work through the conversation, you follow the lines. They start over in the lake, in the world.
That's where your eyes should run.
Right, and then it takes you up to the woman through her heart, and then another stream coming around and jumping through her mind, and then bouncing up off the ether, and all of a sudden it's making a loop and tying all right back to the girl, and in the meantime, it's outlined this eye. And the eye, to me, completely represents the objectivity that exists somewhere beyond everybody's individual paradigm. Like, we all are only privileged to see the world from our own personal perspectives. And the eye represents that no matter how personal you think life is, no matter what, there is some idea that there has to be a way to objectively look at all of these lives without being attached to either one of them. Wow. And in specific. So the eye represents that objective viewer that may or may not exist, but the concept surely can drive some ideas of maybe perspective with how we actually do fit into this world, and how it's not so much an ego trip and a self quest as it is kind of a chance to gain perspective while we're here. And so that piece really tries to show you basically that.
So the focus of the piece is the woman, right, who, as you said earlier, is isolating herself by this lake, this river. and then gaining this kind of inspiration from the isolation. So how does...
Well, because there's the idea that a lot is going on in our minds, and that through meditation and through disciplines we can actually connect to truths that exist. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say I often try to do in conversation, talk about things that have to be learned outside of conversation, and that paradox applies to this this podcast here. But what I'm talking about is there is, and people can argue this all you want. I'm going to say it confidently because that's my that's the reason I'm making my stuff.
If you're going to say it confidently.
That's right. So there is so much to gain by silencing ourselves and going inward, because there's so much exposed to us that we haven't maybe taken the time to really collate and depict and really rearrange outside of the linear timeline that we experienced in, maybe more graphically put up what we've really been through in our lives, and see that the interrelationships between a good mood and a good decision and a bad mood and a bad decision. And, things start to reveal themselves that you realize, when I wasn't taking care of my body and mind, my life went a certain way. I mean, that's not all in time. A lot of that happens years apart. You might get cancer from something you did 10 years before, and you didn't, for those 10 years, you didn't feel like you were decreasing in any way, but you had already, done something that affected you outside of the timeline. So there's so much, that you can really, and Pat was emphasizing this with his installation too, with the idea of meditation and singling it down to this kernel of energy that just is what is. And I mean, any of us could learn so much by just reflecting, and that's what she's doing, and that's the nature of the lake, is reflective. So that sort of sets the archetype tone.
I mean, the first piece of that piece of art that I'm drawn to is the lake in the lower right, because it's so calm.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, there's so much going on that my eyes run to the bottom right out of fear, and just because
it's scary. It is.
It's the refuge. But then, you follow the lines, and this is something that I wouldn't have got without having talked to you and had this conversation, is the full composition of the piece. And just like your mural, you break it into these little parts that all feed each other in a majestic way. So you start in the lake, in this calm down at the bottom, and it pulls up into this chaos that's pouring out onto this woman, and then you follow it through, and it gains that further perspective, and then it comes back and it feeds back in, and somehow I always end up back at the lake.
Yeah, well, everything is supposed to be, in a sense, her hair flow, her body flow, and what she's pouring on here, although it looks as chaotic as the background, and it is, because it encompasses so many different things.
Maybe even more so.
Right. It's actually defined in my terms as her mysticism, and that's the way the tarot card portrays this woman. She's pouring a bucket of like a flowing golden sort of ethereal mix, and I've recreated that with my take on every color, in the spectrum represents a different part of life, maybe a different chakra, if you will, to represent kind of more color coding for the listener. But basically the idea that each color does represent a different part of life. Maybe the blue represents the intellectual pursuits in life, while the red might be more about grounding yourself here on earth and the life force and, your blood. And then there's the yellow, which is sort of that spiritual light that, that comes into the world. A lot of the yellows in this world have a very high spiritual sort of vibration with how we receive them. I mean, there's just so much energy out of yellows.
I can't ignore the metallic purple as long as we're talking on this side.
So that represents so deeply the idea of truth and spirit, like truth in spirit. Like that star is radiating spiral waves of deep universal cosmic knowledge, and she's being doused in it. She's shrouded in metallic purple, and that sheen represents her basking in truth, and that's why she's had to leave the city lights and the chaos, is so that she can be alone and be under her star and truly soak in what is real here and what is just perceived. And her mysticism is just her bathing in the faith and the balance of all craziness that is.
Really amazing piece, too. How long have you been working on this thing? Because there's a lot that goes into this, clearly.
Yeah, I actually started working on it in 2010 in October. I did maybe 20 hours in the studio, and then the whole thing was me prepping this panel, because I had gotten to do a live piece in downtown Austin at a venue where a couple DJs and musicians were going to be playing. So my goal was to, bring something really entertaining to the table, and that's when I got to the woman. I brought all of her texture and all of her colors out, and as well as the eye, I brought all of that out for the audience, and that was something that was big and gestural and, lots of movement so that they could be engaged in what I was doing and feel the concepts getting created so that there really was a sense of achievement during the show.
Very much what you did with your live mural piece.
Exactly. And, I kind of missed the target a little bit more on the mural than I was hoping to, but, some of the effect was still there. But then with that piece, then it kind of sat for a while because I was so pleased with it, and there was so much I needed to do, but I was just so happy that it had gotten to a place where I had envisioned it, and I had just let it ruminate, if you will, for a while, and then, in the last couple of months in preparation for this show and getting everything ready, I decided it was time to wrap this piece up, and I probably put an additional 30 hours or so into it over the last, 4 weeks, and it's been a journey that I've really valued. It's taken me back to a time when I was really focused on, these concepts and, the nature of life is distraction to some extent. So it's been really great to be refreshed with this piece, and it's brought a lot to me, and I feel like I've gotten to bring a lot to it in the last 4 weeks. I've also been inspired in my own ways in the last 2 years that have provided me with, more insight to add to it, more depth, more love. So
right on, and hopefully you bring that to other people because it is truly amazing.
Yeah, I hope so as well.
So, do you like doing it like live art? Is that really the draw? Because that's how this piece started, and then it got refined, and you did a live art piece tonight. Would you say that that's more of your medium?
I'd say there's two modalities to my art. One of them, and this goes back to kind of me as a nature. I'm a Capricorn and a Sagittarius, and the fire side of me, the bright, like spontaneous, creative energy that is fire. I mean, it's dangerous, but it's creative. That part of me absolutely loves large-scale expression for people to behold and to share in, because it really is cathartic and sort of a transcendent way to watch someone depict a balance of colors, because we could literally speak about everything that's happened in our lives through the coding of colors. I mean, we could talk about everything in the blue moments in our life and how they've affected all the red moments, and we could avoid any language that seems conventional and still express everything we're trying to express. And that is what gives me so much room for excitement in art, is that colors can keep coming, and there's another layer there. And there's definitely the live draw to that. On the other hand, there's the earth side in me. There's the Capricorn that just loves the process, that loves meticulous detailing, that loves photorealism, that loves things that I cannot possibly try to attain in a live performance, because, and you see people doing this, and it's one of the things I get kind of weirded out by some of the live art, is that people will have paintings and they'll be doing meticulous detailing that you could only see if you were standing in front of them, because their hand is practically blocking everything they're doing. And I remember before I was painting live getting frustrated watching that happen and not feeling like I connected with the art, and it felt more self-gratifying to just be finishing a piece in front of people than to really be sharing love with them in some form, some radiant form. I mean, to me, if there was a deaf person that wanted to come to a concert, they could be watching a concert. They could be feeling music take place because of colors. I mean, what you see in music, there's melody, there's rhythm, there's pattern, there's harmony. All those things can be present in painting. You can have a melody with how you create the colors, what pattern you go through, whether you do all your yellows and then your pinks and then your blues and then you repeat that, and that's the rhythm. And then how you build images, I mean, there's so much rhythm to kind of keeping the flow of a piece that really can drive it. And it's the same thing when working on a song. I mean, it's really synthetic in that sense that it is just so parallel to the idea of live music for me, making live art, that I really do enjoy performing alongside musicians. And particularly, I want to be reaching out to people who are audio impaired, because I think that is something that might be missing in their community. And I'm a little ignorant on what is out there in the performance world for audio impaired people, but I do know that there are so many concerts where I don't feel like there is an outlet for them to really enjoy much other than the bass lines, and
visceral.
Right, exactly, yeah, and those sonar vibrations are so deep and powerful. But it'd be cool to have something else.
I can share some science with you.
Sure.
I read an article recently that there's a guy who's colorblind.
Wow.
And he met with an electronic neuroengineer while he was at college. And the guy built him a device that hooks up to his brain and plugs into the back of his neck. And when it's a camera and the colors that it detects feed him sounds, through his bones.
Wow.
They feed him different frequencies of waves through his entire body. So now he can experience color through a different sense altogether. It's not really hearing. It's a all-encompassing. I mean, he hears the tones too, but they really hit through his whole body, and he's able to experience color in that way. And I don't know. I just thought it was relevant because
wow, that's super pertinent.
There's a really cool. There are ways that technology is making that capable nowadays, and maybe it's going to happen more on an individual level. But I really do like the idea that you're trying to reach out to all forms of media. And you kind of created a duality earlier, where you set up this. There's like more of a broad base emotional standpoint from art that comes out, I guess, more in live performance, and then there's more of a refined technical aspect that maybe comes out afterwards in the refining. And I think that's true for across all kinds of art. Like with a band, when they put on a show, they're trying to create a feel and have a live environment and maybe be a little spontaneous on stage. But when they go into the studio to record an album, they're trying to be precise and really get all their licks down and hit the notes exactly. And with visual arts, too, it seems like what you were saying is there's that dual side of it. When you make it a performance thing, you want it to be broad and impactful and get people excited about the composition of things, but then you have to go in afterwards and really refine down and make it that formed piece.
That's right.
That you want to. And that's really awesome that you're able to recognize both sides and bring them both into your art.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a little nerve-wracking because, especially at an art show where there's wonderful talent like Eliana and Pat and Lydia. I mean, they're bringing so much to the table that it's competitive and it drives you in a good way. But it also, I mean, if I was prone to self-doubting more, it could be crippling because you get worried about, well, am I going to really get a chance to technically kind of represent my skill level here, or am I going to seem rudimentary or juvenile with my approach?
That seems like the wrong vibe for the live thing.
Exactly,
you had pigtails, you little
right?
kid.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, I'm not saying, but
you had fun.
Exactly, and that's something that I get to overcome, and that's a really big sense of reward for me. I guess is what I was trying to get at. That because there is a voice inside of me, just like all of us, that wants to doubt and wants to be afraid. And
fuck that guy.
Yeah, precisely. Right. So yeah, it's cool to get to really see something develop. I mean, this is one of the larger pieces I've ever gotten to do. Maybe the largest I've done. I've done a piece bigger than this, only in sense that it was 3 walls, but this wall is much bigger than any one of those walls were, and so it's pretty comfortable in size. But it just feels vast compared to things I've gotten to really work on before. So this has been a wonderful opportunity for me to really get to stretch my limbs, if you will.
Right on. And pull from a huge environment of artists.
Yeah,
create this
a lot of artistic energy going on last night.
Really awesome. You fed off it really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm just blown away by both of your pieces, and one probably because I'm into the tarot thing and I know the star and the symbols and the esoteric things and all that good stuff. What you said about color really gives me another take on everything that you do, because it's something that I maybe don't have an appreciation for. I like Pat. The piece of art that I bought last night was one of Pat's line drawings. It was just ink on paper, and you bring another dimension to it that I'm really not fully appreciative of. But man, the depth that you talked about it at was really, really, really great.
Oh, thanks, man. That's a pretty sincere thing to say. Yeah, I mean, design is so cool. I mean, Pat is such a skilled designer. I mean, he does so much. With just kind of laying out really, really cool images, stuff that really grabs you, and that's what I'm trying to do with my colors. It's a similar thought. That's my pull isn't from, that literal directness that I've envied at times in artists, and then, but at the end of the day, I really do just passionately love just throwing colors on your face. Just I feel like it just enables the viewer to breathe, because it's the only time I can breathe is when it's just like fully realized for me, and that's what color does.
Well, that makes a lot of sense too, because some pieces of art can kind of make you hold your breath and be like what? And there's a weird wonder and distance from it, and then there are other ones that you look at and you're just like, wow. I don't know. It's more it's more of an exhale than an inhale when
Precisely.
You see it, and that's amazing, man. It's great.
Thanks, brother.
No problem, man. Is there anything else you want to plug? Anything else we want to get going? Next shows? I know there's going to be more art.
Yeah, in May we've got a show coming up, hopefully at at a little site development area that's building up in downtown Dallas called the Trinity Bridge Project. And they just opened at the beginning of March, so they're really young, but their whole thought is incubation of young art, mostly culinary art. They've got a culinary institute they're opening up, and they're going to have, smaller restaurants with new hot chefs in the area, kind of give them a restaurant to develop, and then once it gets a following, send them off to go, fly out the nest, if you will.
And put more art in their restaurants, right?
Exactly. So it's cool. We're going to be getting to kind of partner with them in their early stages of really bringing the creative feel to the space. We've been asked to do a couple shows with them, hopefully, and I might not really be allowed to talk about much because it's all tentative and nothing's been signed or anything like that.
Keep the deal.
But the exciting thing is that we are going to have, an opportunity to bring another performance to the community, and it'll be in a place that's really burgeoning with the idea of baby art, new art, getting some exposure to things that haven't really been seen or tasted yet. So it'll be really cool to be around that kind of scene as opposed to, some of the other things that you normally get to do when you're, dealing with the art performance world.
How do you do that? Because I know you're from Dallas, but you're an Austin artist, and so Austin's your main community. You're coming up here to Dallas to do some shows. How do you really get to expose your stuff? How do you get to do what you do?
Luckily, I know these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good to have friends in your corner who love your art and love putting on events. It makes it pretty easy to just cooperate. They basically, if you will, direct me into situations that I get to shine in. So it's pretty wonderful relationship. I hope I bring to the table as much as they've brought for me.
No. Easily. I mean, that's great to hear. Though it's a natural kind of community-based thing where it just kind of happens. It's organic.
I've got a great family in Dallas that I love coming and visiting, and I've known people since birth here, so I don't mind. The 3-hour and whatever road trip that it takes to get here. Yeah, I don't want to live here, but I do love being here.
I think Dallas may need it more. Austin may be a cool place to live, but we need. There needs to be more of this going on up here. And, I thanks for contributing, man, and everybody who went into it to make it the great event that it was. It really was amazing.
Thanks, man. I agree. It was a special night.
Yeah. Well, right on, Brian. Is there anything else you want to say to the folks? Anywhere they could find your stuff if they want to get in contact, maybe?
No, man. I'm all about that grassroots. Come get to know me. Come find me. Come see some stuff. I don't really like technology. I don't really like the internet. So I haven't really put anything up there. Some people have put some stuff on Facebook that we've photographed, but it's never complete, so I kind of get frustrated with that. But
I like it though. Brian Bedford, come find him. He's in Dallas. He'll be putting on shows, and he's in Austin too.
Thanks, man. It's great talking to you.
Right on, man. It was awesome.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah. All right, got one more song for you. This is Jasper's Cast with 21 Lines.
I don't believe all of the things I say. All I can do is promise you we're okay. Will we make it up as we go along? Storybook and a lonely song. Stay in bed and dream the day away. Like
again at the Gioia Salon, and I'm sitting here with
Lydia Hollifield.
Lydia Hollifield, one of our installation artists from the other night. Her piece got finished the end of last night. It was around the spiral staircase. Very cool. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Well, they are wire forms that I made by hand. Each one took about 10 to 20 minutes to make, depending on the size. Some of them are about 4 by 4 inches, and some of them are, 16 by 16 inches. They're 3D things, though not.
Yeah, no, they're really amazing looking, and I heard that the big ones are like bowling ball weight.
Yeah, they're fucking heavy.
Super heavy. What's the material on the outside of the wire figures?
The wire was dipped in plaster. It's like a special kind of slurry dipping plaster. It's like a chemical slurry, and then you dip it in sand, and then you let it dry. Okay. And I built up, the big ones are like 20 plus layers, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I had some broken ones on the opposite wall for people to like go up and look. Although, anyway. Yeah.
So you could see like the rings of a tree.
Yeah, they would see like kind of what's inside of it and be like, oh. But I don't know. There were less successful and more successful aspects of display and show stuff. So.
Ron, where'd you get the idea for this? Where's the inspiration come from? Because it's a really unique space you created. The vertical lines that go with it, it's a really neat piece.
Well, all of the aspects of the piece are based on their sort of responses or further investigations of work that I've already done.
Okay, right on.
The actual plaster objects come from a series of like 12 that I did in Taos, New Mexico, that were clay instead of plaster, and they looked sort of like bones or like skulls, but hanging the same way. And the hanging them in that sort of configuration came from another piece that I did that was also hanging. It was.
So you're primarily a sculpture artist, then, yeah?
Yes, I think of myself as an installation artist. It's really how my mind. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
My mind approaches work. I am really good at modeling, which is the other stuff that I showed, but it's not. It's a further means to accomplish my bigger installation goals.
Right on. I imagine. Well, not that modeling doesn't seem as fun, but bringing something that as grand as this into a space, that's got to be awesome.
And modeling has its own benefits. It's sort of finding the personification in the form. Like the little guys that I have over there have very human expressions and gestures and postures.
Yeah, very animated. I did see those too earlier.
Yeah, so it has its own perks, but installation is just what happens naturally and how I think about everything. So.
Well, okay. What's the process in thinking about putting up an installation piece? Do you have to find the space first, or have the idea first and fit it into a space, or?
I mean, there's not a process, but there are parts, and you think about them at some point in the evolution, always.
Where does it start? Can you walk us through, just one example, maybe, or is it different every time?
Well, I can talk about this one.
Yeah,
they started with the actual individual little things. I had been making them before Christmas and hadn't really gone anywhere with them. I had made, maybe 15, and I didn't really know what to do with them, and so I just kind of stopped working on them. But this opportunity came up, and Brendan, at first when he offered it, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But thinking about my work, and I don't know, I really don't remember, but somehow I convinced myself that it was probably a good idea, and it was a good idea.
Definitely.
So I kept making them, and about a month ago, I guess, I came to the salon to see sort of what I would want to do. And Brendan had said to me, because he'd been here many times before, he said, well, I think the space in the stairwell would be the best place, just because everywhere else is probably going to have something in it. And that space, it's not going to be I don't know.
It needs to be used, yeah.
Yeah,
And the way you do your hanging pieces, like you said, your previous ones, yeah, perfect.
Well, I wasn't. I mean,
And it lets you walk through the different layers of it, because if it were just something that you were standing around in any regular space, you couldn't actually, I don't know, get that third dimension on it, which is pretty key, because all these things are really intricate and really organic. They go off in a bunch of different directions, and to not be able to like walk around and up and down them, that was a great space for it.
yeah, I think that was kind of the serendipity of, and I guess somewhat planning on my part, because I knew what I wanted the work to feel like to people when they came in and they were among it, and there was some trouble hanging it, like getting a secure enough to the ceiling, or it ended up to the banister and the wall.
Right.
But originally I wanted to do it from the ceiling, and it wasn't possible.
Bowling balls. I mean, how much do you think the whole thing that's hanging over there right now weighs? That's got to be...
I'm guessing at least 200 pounds, probably around 250, but no more than 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a massive undertaking.
It was a massive undertaking, and I'm
Literally massive.
I'm extremely thankful that I was able to accomplish it with
Yeah.
all the help of everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Right on. I mean, that was a big part of what we were doing at this show. It was a community effort. You know, it was about other artists helping each other and artists coming together to make awesome art.
That's why I don't know. Brian came in the day that I was installing it and like talked to me about it and was like, okay, I think you need this and this, and like, even though he had shit to do, he went with me to Lowe's and like made sure I got exactly what I needed, and I really, really appreciate it, because I don't know, I feel like the art community has the potential to be that. It has the potential to be something else awful, but when we work together as a community, I think we can accomplish
Takes a village to raise a
fucking amazing
piece of
things.
artwork, or like more than that, just like a show. It's this whole other being that we collectively created together. Last night we were doing this post for the installation pieces. But yeah, it's an amazing thing that we're able to do. I hope art can't turn into what is the uglier thing that it can turn into?
I don't know. Maybe it's not as ugly as I think. I think I'm pretty jaded and experienced right now. Those are opposite things.
What are their
but
concerns? Can we talk about that? Because I haven't heard that.
the
from
art
other
world.
artists,
Well,
so.
there's a
That'd
very
be interesting.
kind of corporate sort of selling side to art. Just like everything. And,
Right, you got to make sales. You have to make it livable, and
Yeah.
that typically is one of my follow-up questions: is how do you turn your art into something that's profitable and livable, or sustaining, or is that something that you're not trying to do? Is it,
I mean, it's not an immediate goal. I mean, it is an immediate goal because I do want to do this as my career and like have it as a lifestyle that I live. But I think there's certain ways that you can accomplish it as an artist and as a person. And like, for example, Gorman upstairs, he produces things, and so he had like tons of little small things that would be sellable, that
60 prints that were just easy to move.
and like that's one way to do it, I'm not saying that it's like bad or anything.
Well, it's very accessible.
Yeah, it is, and it's like convenient for the buyer, which is good. And maybe I'll get there someday, in the evolution of my work, but right now,
I mean, it's a little different, I guess, for sculpture, unless you're making casts that produce, like, or something like that. That's production art for what you do.
Yeah,
Would that be something that you would do? Or
I
no?
actually, one of my long-term goals is to get into mold making, but that's whatever.
It's not whatever.
I think these things it would have been very successful if I had sold them individually.
That would have been cool.
Because people came up and asked, like, are you selling them? Like, can I buy like 5 of them or 3 of them?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
But my goal with this piece is to get it into competitions, and so I can't split them up
I see.
yet.
Okay, right on.
Yeah,
But you would eventually, right?
maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I can't store them all.
Right, yeah.
So
That would have been a cool thing to, like, take down names and say, well, I'm trying to exhibit it a little bit more, but I'll call you when it's off tour or whatever, and you can take a piece home, because that would be a cool thing.
I'll probably.
You did produce a lot. I mean, 200+ pounds of art.
Yeah, I think there are 145 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. I was, people were like, oh, what are you doing? Well, I've been working on this. And they're like, oh, you've been working on this one thing for 2 months? Like,
Yes.
Yes.
Well, don't fight the corporatism side of it or the production selling side, you know? Like, you can still do that and be fully legitimate.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe.
It just depends on how I feel as an artist. Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Yeah, right on.
The future.
I'm trying to sell you on the dark side.
I don't
No.
know. Come.
Be successful somehow. However, though, I mean, it's not important. It's just how you're successful, just that you can make what you do into some sort of a success so that more people can get access and, you know, enjoy what you do.
Yeah, and I think people, it's interesting. I was having second thoughts at the beginning, towards the paper, probably like a month ago. Like, is anybody going to like this? Like, I don't even know if anybody's going to like this. Like, what if it's a total flop? Like, I've never had a total flop, you know, where, like, I made something and nobody's been enthusiastic about it at all. And so, like, I think one day it'll happen, and, like, it won't be a bad thing. It'll be a learning experience, as everything is. But I don't know. I just, I know that I can sell stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't worry about that. Your stuff is neat, for sure, at least what I've seen of it. I'd love to see some of your older pieces. Are they going to be up? Like, are we going to get pictures for those, too, and put them on the site and
They
stuff?
are online.
Okay.
I'm very new at being an artist, so I'm not super good at documenting my work yet, which
Right.
is extremely important for an installation artist
Oh,
because
definitely.
because, you know, once it's done and I take it down, nobody's ever going to be able to walk into that room again.
Right.
And so I really need to.
It's a one-time space kind of thing, and I guess an installation could move, but really, like, the way that this is done, it'd be so hard to move
No.
exactly in
Yeah,
replica.
installation is about the experience.
Yeah.
The experience of being in the room with whatever is in the room.
Now, documentation is going to be so key for that, then, because you're going to have to capture it in something less than what it is, and difficult,
Yeah.
very difficult. You're going to have to have a good team on that.
I'm just going to have to learn how to do it.
Yeah, right
I'm going
on.
to have to find people who can teach me.
Yeah,
So, yeah, things that I've been thinking about.
yeah, right on. Things that, you know, every artist has to think about, especially someone who's in your field, like sculpture, and where you can produce. I don't know, like was it Ben, the glass guy? He does the blown glass, you know, and that's kind of like sculpture in the sense that you're creating a form out of something. Just
I mean, it is. We are doing some, but I'm an installation artist,
right,
and
right.
like,
Your pieces
this
are
is the piece.
much bigger, right?
You know, but like, so
So
he
is that-
he can move his things from one place to another, and like, you know, someone will have the same effect. I mean, it does depend, like, sort of the environment where they see it and the situation, but like to a
Right.
much lesser extent.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So if you were to give someone or sell someone 5 of these, would you
Yes.
not feel comfortable with that because
No, I would feel comfortable because
well, you can't control how they're displayed, how they're going to look together, or you know, in that kind
That's
of space,
true.
and that seems like it's a big part of it.
But
So wouldn't that be weird just to give someone 5 and be like, yeah, put them wherever?
no, once it's a different feeling because once I would sell them, they become their own unit. You know, they're no longer part of the installation. And so I sell someone 5 of these little things, and I'm like, I would always ask them, so what do you plan on doing that with them? Where do you plan on putting them in your house? And they're like, well, I don't know.
What if you could like charge them extra? Be like, I'll come over and like pick a spot.
That's
and hang
actually, yeah.
Would that be preferable? Because that way you get to.
I mean, if they would be down to do that, they don't have to pay me anything, but like,
Really, that would just be like a free thing. Like if I
Yeah.
sell it to you, then I'll totally put it up.
yeah,
and make
I'll
it
come
look
to your
good.
house
Yeah.
and talk to you about where you want to put it, how you want to put
See,
it up.
that would be awesome. Yeah.
I mean, it's my work, and I want it to look the best that it can always. So.
Yeah. Right on. I think that'd be a cool thing for you to do.
That's actually one of my best friend's parents. She's kind of an artist. She's a graphic designer, but she really appreciates what I do. And she was like, "Can I buy like 3 of them?" And I was like, "Well, I'll make you 3, and I'll come to your house, and we'll talk about where to put them." And she was like, "Okay, great."
Yeah, right on. That's right on. Very cool. That's and that's bringing that function to form, which is kind of that third aspect of being an artist, is making it livable, making it sustainable. So you got to find a way somehow. That one seems really cool to me because you don't have to compromise on what really is your art, which is this. I guess it's not really performance because you create a space. It's such a unique thing, installation art. I don't know.
It is. It really is. I'm really pumped. I've never had a teacher, professor, mentor who is purely an installation artist. They've always been sculptors or ceramicists or drawers or So I'm excited to start networking in the art world in all the different cities, wherever I can.
Who are like some of your favorite artists? And are there primarily got people who are just installation artists?
Yeah, there are,
I don't.
definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would like I'm looking at, the main woman that I'm looking at right now is named Ruth Asawa. Oh, sorry. The main woman that I'm looking at right now is named Ruth Asawa, and she was like a San Francisco hippie 70s artist.
Mm-hmm.
She's half Japanese like me, or she's Japanese American like me.
Team Asia?
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm Filipino. Just gotta throw it up.
And she does sort of typically Japanese art in that it's very intricate, like little tiny Asian hands have made that, So,
well, one thing that's really neat about Japan, I kind of grew up in a Japanese household. My dad works for a company. Because they have such little resources and such little space that everything they do is just so
needs to
intricate.
be efficient.
Yeah, they put so much into such a little space. It's really amazing. I guess that's a big part of installation art.
Using your space efficiently. I feel like it was interesting when we were having the trouble hanging it. Brendan was like, well, there's this room off to the side of where Ryan is doing his stuff, and you could put it in there. And I was like, okay, I'll go look at it and I'll think about it. And I went and sat in it. And I called Brendan and I was like, no, I can't do that.
No.
And he was like, well, okay. Then, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, no, I think I don't think there could have been a better spot for it, honestly, definitely not in this space. And like I said earlier, the extra dimension that the staircase adds for the viewer is really key.
And I knew that would happen. That's why it was a big deal. And I'm actually very, very happy with the way that it turned out, as opposed to hanging it from the ceiling, because you can see where it's hung from. You can stand above that and look down at it, which I think people really, really, really responded to. Like 3 or 4 people came up and were like, my favorite thing is looking down on it.
Yeah.
Through the wire mesh.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite views too.
Yeah.
You got anything else? Anybody else you want to throw up in terms of the installation art world? Because I really don't know a whole lot about it.
There's another woman. Her name is Susan Szee, I guess. SZE. And someone said last night that I was like the homeless artist at the show, which I guess every show needs. And she does the same thing as me. She collects stuff. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of I have so much shit in the back of my car right now that I just picked off the road today.
Found art.
Yes. And so she makes very intricate. They look like cityscapes, or they're not cityscapes. They're off the wall. Mm-hmm. They look like. Have you ever seen those I Spy books?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're like that. She's built a scene, and it's the whole wall.
Wow.
And it's all trash.
Yeah.
But very precisely placed, methodically organized trash.
Wow. What was her name again? Sorry.
Sarah.
I'm gonna look her up.
Sarah Szee.
Szee.
I think SZE. Sarah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is. There's stuff out there. There's one gallery at Rice University that is solely dedicated to installation art, and it's
nice.
It's the only one I've heard of. I'm sure there are other ones out there, but it's in Texas, and I went there once. It was pretty cool.
The only one I know of here in Dallas, and it's because my mom's big into the art scene. That's
mm-hmm.
a big reason that I am, and my sister was as well. But Shane Pennington is a local Dallas artist that does a lot of installation pieces
mm-hmm.
and kind of more along those kind of lines. Like his last one was called Transcendence, and it was a big Zen garden, but he brought in these big ice blocks with stones in the middle, and he carved the ice blocks to be people, and then over the course of the event, the ice melted, and so the stones sank into place in the sand. It was kind of neat.
That is really cool.
And then before that, he did one that was they went around to a bunch of places in the city in Dallas, and they set up those giant projectors on walls. Mm-hmm. And they had all the artists they showed them their spaces, and they made animated graphics to go on the walls. And some of them weren't just walls, but some were huge sides of buildings, and some were like staircases in parks. So it gave them,
some sort of dimension.
Yeah, like a different thing to work with, and I thought that was really cool. So I wish there were more of that going on in Dallas, and just I would like to see it somehow turn guerrilla. Honestly, every time I hear installation art, I think that's such a waste. It's not just like popping up all over the place, in some sort of graffito style. I wish that would happen more, where I would just walk or be driving somewhere and see, like, holy shit, like, there's just, yeah, that's awesome, look at that over there.
I mean, I don't think it's possible to do it. I mean, I personally, maybe it is, but, like, I don't think it's possible to do installation art guerrilla style, because someone somewhere doesn't want that there, and they will remove it.
Yeah.
But if you get permission, like, in some sort of sculpture installation, then, like, you can make it out of material that's weatherproof, that will last, and you can install it there with the permission of whoever, and it'll stay there for forever. And it's my favorite places are Sculpture Gardens, the Nasher, and
Great place.
And Valley House. Have you been to Valley House?
Where's Valley House?
It's
there's like the Nasher and the Crow and the GMA.
yeah,
are all,
the
like,
Valley
right
House
there.
is the it's like the sculptors gallery, like where all of the big not all of them, but like big sculptors that I know who are from Dallas who work here are signed with Valley House, and they show their work there. It's on Spring Valley and like close to 75. And it's got like a big sculpture garden in the back, and there are like a bunch of bronze things there.
Wow.
And you like walk around, and there's like a person lying there. And it looks like a person, but it's bronze. And it's been there for like years.
Wow. Yeah, I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, I went for the first time. I mean, I'd known about it for a long time, but I went for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I was just blown away. I was like, this is one of the most amazing places in Dallas, and I have to come back here always.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. I'm definitely gonna go check that out now. I had no idea. And the Nasher is probably one of my favorite art exhibits. I remember going there. It's for school and then not for school eventually.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Yeah, it kind of grows on you.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing I saw the early Picasso stuff when they had it down in the basement, like his first sculpture. That was weird. I never really thought of him as a sculptor before, but I guess that was a good part. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yep, it's a wonderful world, sculpture, and people think of art as painting, and which is is fine, but the relationship of an object or a space to your own body, to you as a person individually, and when you walk around it and it's this big and you can hold it in your arms, or it's the size of you and you can it's a different feeling than a painting.
Oh no, right on. I think we as an art community here at Gioia last night, and everybody involved, definitely sees that. I mean, we had so many different mediums present. It was awesome to see so many different artists turn out to help each other and raise each other up. And it really was a beautiful thing to see. You are a resident sculpture installation guru. Thanks so much. I thought it was great.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And now here's Haha Radical with I Am Who I Am.
display of who I am.
We are who we are.
Carbon-based mixed with oxygen. Throw in some sin. Stare in a mirror. Map out a plan. You gotta make something to break. The more you put in, the brighter the display. All the colors you've carefully arranged, you gotta tear them apart. Disengage. Find yourself again. You gotta retract some past frame. It's like God for my God, oh God, what have I done? Oh God, what have I done? The energy required to make or break a bond is at just the appropriate level for building molecules. This microscopic depth is stable life and imperfect. It weighs back.
You gotta make something. You gotta make something break. Break. You gotta make something to break. Gotta make something to break. Got to make something. Break it.
It don't have to be ideal. When the time is right, everything will become clear to itself and to you. Just you will know it's all the truth. It comes down to just you. And I know in my heart it's true. Oh, I know it comes down to you.
Gotta make
Well, I got for my goal. What have I done? Oh God, what have I done?
This is my last song about myself, cause lately I felt that the words are gonna run out, that I would stand up to speak and nothing comes out. When I first started rhyming, it was all about that timing. The rhythm of the words follows the mission of us. But soon it became a way for me to talk and to put myself a narrative. Establish what's my agony, and I became the foremost expert on tragedy. I write about what's wrong and go on and hum another song. I've tried to fix it every other way, but all autobiography did was guide the way. Worrying not about the do, but the say, yeah, this is the last song that I can claim is consolating. And now I've come to find out the unlucky are better with language and storytelling. But how can I help when I'm not welcome? This is the last poke at my wounds to find a lesson. Words can be a comfort, make you feel like an exception, but they can confuse a complex night as a blessing. I'm saying words can be a comfort, make you feel like an exception, but they can confuse a complex night as a blessing.
We're here with Peter.
Howdy.
Peter Hensel, member of what's band's name?
Ha ha, comma, uppercase R, radical.
Right on, and you are the frontman MC.
I am actually not the front man. I am the
No.
back man MC, which makes me really weird.
Yeah, and so both of you guys sing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I try and sing a little, although I'm not as good as my bandmate Josh, of course. But I try and sing along. Most of the time, though, I rap and like perform language. Try and make that what it's about.
Spoken word.
Josh, do you think I sing well?
I think you rap really well. I don't know how well you sing.
Yeah. When I sing, it's mostly a joke.
Different forms of expression, It's cool,
It's all
man.
an experiment, though.
Yeah, right on. I heard that in one of your songs, I'm pretty sure. Something about
Experimental.
Yeah, for sure. So, when did you guys start making music? How did it all come together?
Well, we both work at Starbucks.
Yeah, right
and
on.
We met. We both have been doing our own music, separate from each other, and then we met at Starbucks in what?
I
August.
started working in late June. So, like, in a month of us about, like, banging metal together and forks and, like, spoons that you make coffee with, we found out that, hey, we understand each other's rhythms sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
And so I host an open mic every other Friday.
Oh, wow, awesome.
Yeah.
San Antonio?
Yeah,
You guys are
San
San Antonio
Antonio.
artists, just to be clear.
Yeah, and at a place called Local Coffee. And we, every other Friday we just started just kind of getting together and just kind of mashing up our songs. I had songs that I had written, and Peter had a lot of really great lyrics, and I would play a lot of melodies that I was really familiar with that I had written, and Peter would throw on some of these lyrics, and we just kind of mash them up and just see what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, the first time we actually performed was not practicing together. It was in front of people with deers in the headlight looks.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a really interesting process. It seems completely different from most bands.
Yeah, it's definitely very experimentative, very organic, and which is something that we, really liked. It's something that I had, started. Before I met Peter, I was doing this real experiment of, process of just kind of almost mashing up my own songs and just kind of, coming up with something on the spot, just coming up with a really cool, progression, looping it, and then just adding stuff and just kind of making up lyrics on the spot, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I have to
That's
say,
incredible.
I have to say that us as a band really came from me first appreciating Josh's musicianship, because like he can really like technically do any loop and just be on time with what the meter is on a song, and like the fact that he can just be so behind it and with it, and I can just come on top and say something profound while he's engineering this awesome beat. It's like it's really what makes us work. Like he is a DJ with his guitar and loop pedal,
Oh, wow.
and I'm a rapper and a front man.
So you guys are big on the I guess not effects or post, but kind of I guess more produced musical sound.
It's. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I think you may get that sense because we definitely do sample ourselves live a lot, when we loop ourselves. And when we do record ourselves, we've only done it a couple times so far, but we do focus a lot on like processing the sounds electronically and stuff. But we do try and make it all about what we're doing on stage, and we don't have any backing tracks. I've been in hip hop bands before where I've tried to put a backing track to it.
Yeah.
And really it just takes it away. Like it adds a lot more sounds that distract people, and like I just want every sound you see to be made on stage, even if I'm turning a knob to do it.
Yeah, right on. So yeah, that's a totally unique process. I've never heard of something really working like that before. Where do you guys draw from to get there, though? Is it just kind of something that strikes and happens, or is it really something that you craft and work hardcore on before it goes down?
I would honestly say it's something that just happens, it's, we surprise ourselves every time.
Dude, we've written new songs by just improvising something and remembering it later so many times.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, the best stuff. The best stuff that I can say we've done has been a total accident, and just as
That's what our band's about. It's not fearing making an accident.
Yeah,
right on.
just as the audience
be afraid to fail.
is surprised about what they're hearing, we're surprised.
Wow.
We're surprised about what we're creating at the same time.
So we're in the same place as the audience.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what's coming either.
Yeah, we have no idea what's going to happen sometimes. Sometimes it can be
acting like it though.
Yeah, it can be really terrible. We could be completely off our game, or it could be total. And we have been, but it could be, completely amazing and just, and sometimes we can just be like, oh my God, I'm so glad we recorded that.
I mean,
I don't know if we'll ever get that back
like
again.
The most fun way to make music to me. Like, and it comes through. You guys look like you're having fun. You sound like you're having fun. It really brings another element.
It is. It's all about reciprocated energy. We get energy from the crowd, and we just
like tonight when we was doing Gangster's Paradise and we were just chanting the chorus a cappella. Like literally, I was just like, the people in the crowd ain't ready for this song to end. So I'm a flow on the end of it.
It's a cool experience.
Yeah, that is definitely not easy to do. You guys, I don't know, it shows through that you guys are having a lot of fun, and that's
Thanks.
awesome.
And Josh, I don't know if we said this before, but I do know for a fact that we performed in front of people many more times than we performed privately in practice.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So
like we've written new songs at open mic nights while writing.
So yeah, anytime someone goes to see you guys, it's going to be off the wall fun. It could be something completely new. You never really know.
Absolutely.
Every
Sometimes it is really depressing and profound when we're going through those moments, but even then, it's like something we're coming to in the moment.
All right. On.
Yeah.
That seems. Your guys' approach to it seems really pure to me too. Like it's not. I can't imagine ever using the word contrived for you guys or something like that. It just seems so natural. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
That's cool, man. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
All right. So we kind of talked about where it came from, how you guys get it rolling. How are you guys turning it into something that's sustainable, something that's livable? Are you guys both work side jobs too?
Yeah. Well, we.
Side jobs.
Yeah. Well, he has 2 other jobs besides the music. I work at Starbucks. We both work at Starbucks.
Right on.
And but we and this is Haha Radical is Peter's been doing a lot of this stuff and I've been making music on my own for about 10 to 12 years or so. And so this is kind of a little I wanted to kind of take a little break from what I was doing and kind of branch out of the box. And I never worked with somebody who is a hip hop kind of like rap like I never worked with anything like that. And so I thought it was really cool. And I had started doing these things with my guitar, like creating beats and looping those beats.
Yeah, right on.
And Peter was just like, dude, I could totally flow some stuff over that. I got some great material. And so we, it just started from there, and it's just, it's all about experimentation and just seeing what'll happen. And so this is just it's a really cool side project, and
it's about like becoming a jukebox that like randomly plays your own tunes.
Right on. Yeah, no, that is awesome. You guys are probably one of my favorite acts from tonight. Just from talking to you and seeing how much fun you guys are having with it, it's amazing. It's amazing. So glad you guys can bring that energy to the rest of the artists here, and
Yeah, I'm glad we could start things off so people know, it's okay to be loud and it's okay to fuck up.
to have a good time, man. I mean, that's what we're all here for, and you don't want it to be too stuffy.
We did mess up about 8 times.
Yeah, I think 9 actually.
Although this really hot girl said she didn't know, so I mean, hey.
Who's counting? Yeah.
Still counts. So where are you guys trying to go with it? What do you want to be doing more of?
I don't know. Where are we going?
What do we want to do more? Are you going to be living in San Antonio?
They don't know,
months?
and it's beautiful. I love it.
I'm planning.
I may not be.
Where are you moving?
I know, this is another one of those on-the-spot things. I don't know. I've been thinking about going to Austin in a couple months.
We're only an hour away.
Yeah, dude, we still make music then, for sure. And I mean, it's not like I need to come up to practice or anything.
Yeah, right on.
We'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But literally, like, this music is just a way for us to become who we are on stage. And enough people like us and follow us and know who we are that we feel comfortable enough coming with that name. So really, any money we make from it is secondary. I wrote a novel. I hope I make money from that. But the music yet is not in any money-making thing.
And for me, like, it's just, even if one person after the show comes up and says, hey, man, I really dug what you guys were doing, that's all I really, it's all about that reciprocated energy. Like, and, if I, feel love from the audience, like, I feel like I did a good job, and like somebody was listening, and, there may be a lot of stuff going on. This art show was just absolutely awesome. Like, this is
if no one said it to you already, let me be the first. You guys were awesome. I love what you did up there.
Thank you.
Like that was sick.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. We drove up here from San Antonio, and
5 hours
we drove 5 hours to be here. Like I had to be at work. I worked at 5:30 this morning, and I still drove up here.
And he's
Wow.
here.
That is dedication.
Yeah,
you guys
this
brought so much energy to the night too. Love it.
Thank you so much. It was awesome. I want to thank Jeremy for and everybody else who put this all together.
Brendan, mad props.
What do you guys think about the whole arts collective thing? Is this something you guys could get on board with? And
I'm not as in tune with what the arts collective is, but I'm interested in finding out what it is all about.
And to me, it just seems like a bunch of artists who get together and want to help each other put on awesome shows in kind of like a like a mixed format thing. Everybody's trying to create this whole other third thing from this process. That's it's not really about any one band or artist or art piece. It's about everybody getting together to create a great experience.
That's what it's all about. It's all about collaboration. I don't believe in egotism, and just.
I don't believe in evil things.
Yeah, if you're just, you're like limited to yourself, you're so much bigger, as a group, and there's so much talent out there, and it's just, to think that you are gonna do it all yourself, and it's just.
False.
Yeah, I mean, it's just narcissism, and I believe in collaborative effort. Like get out there, experiment, and just see what's out there. It's a beautiful world. You just got to open your eyes.
Yeah, you get a lot of energy from other people creating art and putting their entire self out in front of you, and this is a great way that we see other people putting their art out. So why not get all that energy working together towards one great big marathon?
Yeah. You just said something that it's like one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's by Ortega and Gasset, their book Revolt of the Masses. There's some old school philosophers. And the quote is, "The world is beautiful and marvelous to well-opened eyes." And yet, that's, you guys both seem like your eyes are open and you guys are having fun and being able to see the world for all the beauty that it can have, and just have a good
it's
time.
all about perspective. And if you have a positive outlook towards life, and you can choose. It's all about what you choose to look at. And if you turn on Fox News or any news channel, it's just all this negativity.
The world
and,
can run you down so fast if you let it.
Like we could change the whole subject here, but I don't want to do that. Like keep it on art and and just keep it positive. It's all about outlook.
Does art help the outlook then? Is that something that people go to specifically? Is that what we crave from this sort of thing? Is to be the counterpoint to that in the world?
Yeah, definitely.
Shit is rocking right now.
Yeah,
sorry.
dude, shit's rocking inside. But hey, can you close that door for a second?
Okay,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it really, when you were talking earlier, it reminded me a quote of this sci-fi author that I really like, who said, "Truth, like most things, is up to the imagination."
Nice.
And as much as perception is about yes, there's something in front of me, I'm perceiving it, you can just look away if it's something you don't want to look at, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I got one more little one of those nugget quote kind of things, and it's by a comedian who's one of my favorites. And God, I can't remember his name. He does a podcast called the Mental Illness Happy Hour or whatever.
Dimitri Martin?
No, it's not Dimitri Martin. I'm not.
You would know that.
Yeah. But his quote is, whenever someone asks him how's life, he says, "Oh, life is great. My perspective sucks." Because comics are.
You gotta be
depressed.
to be a comedian.
Yeah, comics are generally depressed like
really
that,
do.
but and it's such a great message because you could say that to yourself anytime you're feeling shitty. Oh, actually, life is pretty good. I'm just not looking at it the right way.
Yeah, it reminds me from another quote: "The kingdom of heaven is within."
Ah, right on. Let's just go. We can just trade quotes back and forth. We shouldn't even use our own words. We should.
River run.
I wish I could remember quotes. I have a terrible memory.
Simpsons quote. It's actually on the plaque of their city. It's their town quote, and it's the noblest spirit can embiggen the smallest of men. I don't know, it's kind of fake, but you guys bring such a a different spirit and energy to things. Like, you can laugh about messing up 9-8 times or whatever, and that's so great to see, man. So great to see people not taking themselves too seriously.
Dude, I mean, I don't know if anyone heard, but there was a time when Josh's guitar just cut out, and I was just continuing my verse like nothing had happened.
You know, on that topic, actually, you know, we've actually spent a little bit of time recording stuff, and you know, we spend so much time like in the recording process, like it's such a, you know, a tedious thing, you know, like when we're in the studio and recording, you know, we spend a lot of time, but like when we're live, you know, people go to a live show to, you know, to experience something that's like not a part of the album,
right?
You know, and you know, people almost want to hear. They almost want to hear you mess up. They almost want to hear a different version of the song.
Right. That'll definitely be more memorable.
Yeah, and so, you know, you just got to roll with it. And, you know, if you mess up, you just turn that mess up into like a alternate version of the song and just kind of like go with it. And, you know, sometimes that mess up turns into this, you know, this big, you know, you might, you know, change the whole dynamic of the song, you know, just based on that one, you know, quote unquote
mess up. Yeah, it's all about perspective. Just turn it into something positive.
Yeah, like for that last song, Perky Mohawk, Josh is actually supposed to sing along with me on the chorus, but he's saying completely different words that I had never heard before. Yeah. And so I just like responded to his verse a little bit. But I mean, I like how it sounded. I came up with a great outro we may actually use later.
Yeah, no.
Shave all that hair and find a new head underneath. I like that.
That is awesome. You guys definitely have one new big fan. I'm gonna come try and catch you guys next time I'm in San Antonio. I guarantee I'll try and see you guys if you're still performing.
Thanks, dude. I'm gonna give you some demos later. Check us out at haharadicals.bandcamp.com.
You got any more plugs? Any more promo? Check out Peter's book too.
Yeah, Peter's book, Haha Radical, the Gospel According to a Robot.
Right on.
I didn't have to say that title.
It's awesome. Thank you guys for listening.
It's on our Bandcamp, actually. That's where we're selling it. It's actually produced by our band because I wrote it during Starbucks coffee breaks, often with jokes that me and Josh came up with together.
Oh, right on.
But,
you guys want to talk a little bit more about the book, or?
I mean, Josh doesn't really know that much about the book.
Peter,
okay.
Like, he unconsciously influenced me a little bit because, like I said, I wrote bits of it on break that I went back to later. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about it if you want. You got some time, or anyone else?
I got time, man. I got nothing but time. I do kind of want to check out this.
Let's check out Prophets and Outlaws and talk about it later.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for talking to me. You guys are awesome.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah. All right, right on. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll give you a demo later.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was awesome.
What was your name? Aaron.
All right, you are about to hear 2 tracks from Prophets and Outlaws. The first one is called Honey Child, and the second, Sweet Soft.
Get up, get down, little honey child. Get up, get down. Get up, get down, little honey child. Get up, get down. Going out tonight, girl. Yeah, you and me. Get a glimpse of my world, but don't tell what you see. 'Cause there's a place across town. Nobody knows it, yeah, no one that don't know me. Come on, baby, there's so much to see. Get up, get down, little honey child. Get up, get down. Get up, get down, little honey child. Get up, get down. Well, mama don't want you to go. She thinks I'm no good. Well, come on, baby, don't you wanna treat me like you should? Come on out with me. I know that you want me, and yeah, girl, I want you too. Come on, baby, do what you do. Get up, get down, little honey child. Get up, get down. Get up, get down, little honey child. Get up, get down. child. Get up, get down. Get up, get down, little honey child. When I met that blue-eyed girl, she grabbed onto my heart. The way she walked into the room, it had me from the start. With the confidence of a superstar, the innocence of a child, my heart stops every time I see her smile. Baby loves when I kiss her. She loves to make me miss her. Something about that girl keeps me coming around. She spends the day under my sheets. We laugh until we can't breathe. Something about that girl keeps me coming around. She's got beauty, soul, and style, and a sweet, soft southern smile. Now she's with me night and day, the good times and the bad. When life gets rough, she finds a way to always make me laugh. She gets away with everything, 'cause she knows she makes me high. The way she loves me, man, I feel alive. Baby loves when I kiss her. She loves to make me miss her. Something about that girl keeps me coming around. She spends the day under my sheets. We laugh until we can't breathe. Something about that girl keeps me coming around. She's got beauty, soul, and style, and a sweet, soft southern smile. I know I need her and she needs me. And when I'm with her, I feel so free. She's the reason for this song, the reason I'm hanging on. She loves to make me miss her. Something about that girl keeps me coming around. She spends the day under my sheets. We laugh until we can't breathe. But something about that girl keeps me coming around. She's got beauty, soul, and style, and a sweet, soft southern smile. A sweet, soft southern smile.
Matt Boggs has a question.
Can you guys explain to me? I've never been a part of this live art scene. Okay, so like,
Here, put in my mic.
how it was explained to me is that based on what we're playing as music, is going to inspire him to paint what he's going to paint on the wall. Talk a little bit about. I mean, obviously you guys know a little bit more about this. I know it from the music side, but you guys kind of have a broader grasp of everything. How is what we're going to play going to inspire what he's going to do, and how might it be different tonight versus any other night?
Jeremy, you want to
when we might not be there?
Yeah, no, I'll take that question.
Live art is something that's new to me, I guess, and maybe for a lot of your listeners it might be the same.
Right.
I'd like to hear kind of an explanation of like how things are going to be different tonight
Right.
versus any other night.
Right. Okay. I'll just, if you want to start from a comparison standpoint, I'll start from a Brian standpoint. Brian vibes off of other people's creativity. Like, it's just straight up something that he does. When he's painting, he's listening, he's hearing everyone talking. He already knows what he's gonna do. Like, he already knows, but like it happening in this moment, he's so spontaneous. He's just one of, I don't know if he wants me to say this, but let's just say, his brain, the way it works, is incredible. He might not to everyone be the epitome of fine art, because fine art is something like, if you go upstairs, there's fine art, right? Brian is spontaneous. He, like at our last event, for instance, there was 4 bands scheduled to play, only 3 played for various reasons, but every band kind of influenced his motions. He's a performer. It's not necessarily like, hey, I want to do a mural and I'm just gonna go paint it and zone everything out. Like, he is in tune with everything that's going on in that room right now. He knows when he's got, like, he put a bunch of tape down. I don't know if he's ripped it off yet. I haven't seen, but he painted yellow over everything, and then he put a bunch of tape in all these different directions of angles, and then he painted green over all of that. So he's gonna rip off the tape, and there's gonna be sunlight coming through all of this green, right? So it's just very interesting to see how he works. So it's kind of hard for me to explain to you how it could be different, except that I'm gonna make the comparison for their next show. His concept is gonna be different. He's gonna have 2 mediums. He's gonna be both a performer of art and a performer of music, and he's gonna try to play with that. So he's very much a performer. Everything that he does is he's always kind of been the center of attention kind of guy. But like Eliana upstairs, very different. She's up there very concentrated, doing her paintings. She's listening to the music, but Brian's actually like dancing and like vibing, and like when he loves to throw paint, and he loves to like, he uses like, literally, he went out and bought silverware today to paint with. Like he's all over the place. He loves colors. He loves vibes. So that's kind of what I'm gonna say about that. I guess my question is, do you like that vibe? Do you like this live art thing? Is this something you might want to do again in the future? Maybe not at this salon, but at some place where we can make a concept happen. And you playing tonight, like, that's going to be crucial time for him to finish his mural, at least to the extent that people who are going to leave are going to see something, because he's going to finish it tomorrow because it's permanent. So obviously he's going to spend all night being here, but when you're playing, dude, he's going to just be going. I swear, because you guys are going to have multiple instruments. You're going to have, vocals. I mean, what is it, 3 of you, 4 of you singing? 5 of you singing.
Wow.
So, it's going to be, he's going to vibe off of that. So,
and just kind of in a general way, I don't think anything happens in a vacuum. Maybe it's not necessarily true. Maybe sometimes people just lock themselves in a room and create some great art. But generally, you're influenced by everything that's around you. It's important. Space is as important as anything else that can go into it, and what's going on around you can really affect what you would produce. I don't know. Live art with other things going on is different than just a live art where the person can be totally focused in on just one thing, versus being part of a community and a group. And I feel like that's really what these kind of shows are about, is getting artists together and interacting, and not just being isolated entities out there in this cold world. Everybody trying to make it for themselves. It's a family kind of thing, and we make and create together. I don't know. That would be my 2 cents.
It's not so much about what you can do per se, but what you have to say, kind of, as an artist.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's kind of trying to do. And as a musician, I think a lot of times it becomes like, what can you do?
Yeah.
But it really should be about, what are you trying to say, or what can you say?
Right on.
I think that's what he's doing. And if we, as musicians, can play something that inspires him to say something different, or maybe say it in a different way, maybe not different, like, not to say that anything saying is wrong, but maybe we can shape what he's saying.
Right on.
I think it's cool. It's this live art thing. It's just very new to me, and I was curious to kind of get your all's take on it.
Well, I don't know. At least
it's just curious to me that what he's gonna do tonight is different than something he might do had we not been there.
I imagine it would be more of a grounding factor where you'd very easily kind of get lost in something while you're making a piece. But with this, there's so much else going on around you that it kind of bring you back to the community and the whole earthiness of the thing, where it's it's something organic that comes from everything that's around you, and it's not just kind of something floating out there in the ether that we grab and pull down to man. It's organic and it's created amongst people rather than just kind of out of a vacuum.
Compared to when you're recording a song, you want to track a guitar part. Like, we're gonna hit this lead guitar part here, and maybe the guitar player isn't totally happy with what they did. Maybe they didn't hit all the notes they wanted to hit. But in that moment, like when they were recording it, it was raw. It was kind of like, this is what you did in that moment. Forget like how great it was technically, but this is what you did in that moment. It's borderline brilliant, because of when it happened. Not so much because of how you did it,
right?
Because like it happened and we were all there.
Right.
It's a moment. It's a.
Right. It changes
time.
Changes the whole space more than it does like any one piece. Maybe like changes the experience of it. Like anything that I would buy tonight, I would not only have the piece and what it means to me, but every time I looked at it, it would remind me of this whole experience. And it's really how we build.
That's what makes it special, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's what's cool about tonight, and that's why I'm very excited.
Yeah, this is the most awesome thing that I've ever been a part of, man. And if anybody, there are art communities like this all around where people could be doing this.
You feel like they're not that big in Dallas yet?
No, I don't.
Dallas is behind the times, correct?
Well, I don't know. You're more involved in the scene here than I am.
Then
so
I'm
going to
go ahead and say it.
Yeah, okay.
I think Dallas is behind the times.
Yeah, no, I really can't argue. My sister is fine arts. She tried to do things here in Dallas and just could never really get them off the ground. And with this kind of format, I feel like it's a lot easier because you have similar people supporting each other and trying to make the same thing happen. So it doesn't take some great outside force to just drop a bunch of money on you or something like that, because everybody wants to see this happen and is working towards it to make something great. And that's it's really what I felt like we've gotten out of it so far, and the night's only halfway through.
I agree. I love it.
Yeah, right on. And you guys are coming up next?
Yeah. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it all. I guess I was more interested in hearing what you guys had to say about it.
Yeah, right on.
I know we're like privileged to be here and play and shape tonight, I guess.
Oh, we're lucky to have you guys.
Be a part of a live art show.
Yeah, right on. I mean, it's a great way to approach it. I hear you guys are a pretty big act. I think we might be the ones who are lucky to have you guys.
We're excited to play. It's just different than a lot of shows we do. Like a lot of times we feed off of energy, and energy.
What kind of stuff do you normally do?
It's hard to categorize this, but I would say that like blues and country music is a big part of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what blues and country is feeding off kind of a crowd and an energy, if you will. It's easier to find energy in a lot of people.
Right.
When there's a smaller amount of people like this, but it's more of a intimate like effect or an emotion, it's hard to play blues, I guess, to me anyway.
Because you can like see everyone's face and immediate reaction a little more.
I feed off of energy. If there's not a ton of energy, I guess it's kind of like created.
Who kind of energy are you looking for when you play blues music, though? I mean, you want people like rocking out? Because I heard you guys are more of a rock band.
I like people rocking out for sure, but I think whenever they see what we're doing as kind of more telling a story, I guess. Like I grew up on country music, which is storytelling.
Yeah.
Whenever they can kind of grasp that side of it, that's when I get really excited.
Okay.
I see that in art, kind of.
That seems like it'd be easier to get from a small crowd, though, because they're going to be paying more attention. It's going to be a little more focused.
There's another aspect of it. There's another element. Almost like there is the storytelling side, but there's also like an energy that's given off while telling that story.
Man, I can't remember what faith it is, but I think it might be Hindu. And they have this whole belief that whenever there's a relationship going on, whenever there are two entities interacting, be it a crowd and a person or two artists or two people, whatever, that there's this third thing that's created, the gestalt, or just kind of like the nature of the relationship, and it's an entity of its own that can be affected, and things like this I feel like really go about creating that in a much more tangible
It's a third
way.
dimension, if you will, and it's unique to this event tonight.
Exactly.
Unique, unlike anything else we might have done in
There-
front of 1,000 people, in front of 3 people. Like,
Yeah.
I understand.
I mean,
That's what's exciting about it.
It can still, I mean, that can happen in any format or setting, really, but I feel like this one makes it a little bit easier to recognize,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's why we're excited. It's going to be unique and fun, and I'm sorry to kind of bust in on your.
Oh, dude, not at all. I was hoping to
Here.
get you guys on the mics.
I was
'cause-
excited to hear what you guys were talking about.
Yeah, right on. Well, I mean, we can continue the interview and break it down into what you guys do and where you're coming from.
I mean, we are, at our base, we're all 5 different musicians that are very proud of ourselves. I mean, we're all very happy with what we think we can do. We've written some songs that we like, we think that have mass appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, beyond that, we're not just a pop group that think we wrote some good songs. We all have something to say, while we play them. James can speak to this too. But we've written these songs, and I feel like we all have something to say while we play them. Every time we play them, it's different. Whether
Right.
it's 50,000 people at American Airlines Center or 20 people.
You played American Airlines Center?
New Year's Eve, we got to play American Airlines
Wow.
Center.
That is incredible.
And like I said, the energy there changes kind of what you're trying to say and what you're trying to do.
Uh-huh. So what's the difference between performing for a large crowd like that? 'Cause that's incredible to me. I don't know anybody else who's gotten a chance like that versus a small thing like this.
Tonight it's going to be more about what we have to say and more about, I guess, the event itself. Like, the way we play the songs will be a little bit different than had there been
Trying to rock a stadium,
sure,
versus trying to actually
when you're trying to rock a
reach
stadium,
people.
you're trying to appeal to the masses, I guess.
Right.
And there's kind of a certain, like, I don't know if you want to call it cheesiness would be a bad word, but there's a certain way to do it
Compromise,
that you
maybe.
know that you're gonna appeal to the masses.
Mhm.
When you're in a smaller group like this, you're not really worried about that in any way at all. It's almost like, this is how I wanted to play the song tonight. I don't really care how it comes across.
More pure. You don't have to be worried about
Exactly.
how you're received. You just perform, and that's what we're all here to see in the first place.
And that's
It's-
why I think this is so cool.
Right on.
Not to say I don't love playing in front of a lot of people, because the energy is hard to duplicate anywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't even imagine. That must feel great to have 50,000 people screaming for you.
It's very cool, but this is the kind of thing where maybe the artistry kind of comes out a little bit more.
Which
I think any band would say that.
Yeah, right on. So you think this kind of experience will stick with you longer? It'll end up meaning more than playing for 50,000
In
people?
a lot of ways, yes.
Yeah.
I would say maybe if you're able to capture something like this through a podcast or recording it.
Documentation team. That's why we're here.
No, I think that to offer that to fans later on, like in your career. Like,
Yeah.
we played 50,000 people and that was cool, but this is something we did at an art show back in 2012 on
Right,
St.
yeah.
Patty's Day.
Yeah.
And
Very,
this was
very
one
real.
unique moment, and this is how these songs were played on that night.
Yeah.
I think it's neat.
Yeah, you can get recordings that you may never otherwise have, or play.
Yeah.
You can reach depths that you maybe never otherwise would have reached.
Influenced by things we're not influenced by regularly, like some cool
The
paintings
mural.
on the
Yeah,
on
have
the
you been
wall
have you
or-
been around and seen everything?
Yeah, it was great.
It's incredible, right?
Just to walk around and see what he's doing, it's neat,
Yeah. All right, so we talked about where it came from. What's the process? How do you guys sit down and hammer something out?
Welcome,
Is this a full band joining now? Is this what we have?
Welcome, Stevie G, Matt Murrow.
You guys all want to introduce yourself on the mic? I think that'd be great.
And the Brownie Monster.
I'm Stevie G. I play guitar and write songs with Matt.
Matt Murrow's the bass player. He's a humble soul.
All right, on.
I'm James. I'm Steven's brother. I play drums.
And he's eating brownies.
He's
right now.
He's also the brownie
Let me
monster.
fill you in on what we were talking about. They were kind of talking about like how we come. Well, I guess you can ask.
That was brown eye monster. My bad. Yeah. It's not for kids.
We were kind of talking about how like a live art show is different than maybe playing in front of like a bunch of people.
What I think's cool is, I mean, he's going to be painting, and what he told us is he's painting to partly the emotion that we bring to the table.
Yeah, right on.
So it's not just the songs, but it's what we have to say about the songs that's going to influence what he has to say about his painting. And I really think that's cool because it kind of says, like, this is my interpretation, and from that it's going to influence his interpretation of a completely different project.
Right on.
And to us, like, we're not going to do anything different, except it might make us get into it more because we're going to really think, what does this song mean to me? deeper than just what lick can I play right now. Because
Right
we're
on.
going to try to really influence emotion more than anything else.
So like maybe less focused on the technical aspects and really just like hitting all the notes you want and getting it right, and more important is the feeling that you can get across to
Yeah,
people.
it's not what's the coolest note I can play right now. Me and Matt talked about this earlier. It's more about what do I think about the song. And the way I look at solos, and we all do, is what do I have to say right now about this song? So right now, what do I have to say about, in this next 30 seconds, what does this song mean to me?
Right on.
And it might mean something different tonight than it did last night, and looking at his paintings might change that.
Yeah.
So, like, to us, that's exciting. Like,
Yeah, right
that's
on.
what music and art, that's why it's all
It can. I mean,
collaborates.
it's these songs. I'm they're things that you've done and that you know, and they're their own kind of entity or being that you guys have explored in many ways. But when you bring them to someone else who's also doing that kind of thing and has this other entity that they're creating, now these two things interact and they become whole new things that never probably. I mean, they couldn't evolve in that way without the other person's art
completely.
working
It's not
too.
just this is the arrangement we're going to play it. It's, well, what do I think about this song tonight? And it changes when we look at painting. Like, Matt might sing something different. I might play something different.
Yeah, right
and
on.
Like, to us,
That's really
we're
cool.
all going to feed off each other from that, and like,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah, right on. I mean, that to me is what this whole thing is about: is getting artists to come together to, I don't know, plumb new depths or create new spaces for their art to evolve together. Really,
Yeah.
push artists pushing each other further.
Yeah, and it's like we all kind of push each other. Like, me and Matt will look at each other, and he'll sing something different and kind of smile at me, and it'll make me play something different. And in turn, me and the keyboard player will play a solo different, and we'll
Yeah.
trade off.
You guys are
And,
riffing
like,
at that point. It's not.
At that point, it's like
It's not so structured.
We're building a song together, not just one person saying, "Look
Oh,
what I
man.
can do."
Yeah.
And like that's what's really cool about it. We all do it together.
Kind of in the same way that whatever he's painting on the wall might inspire us to play something different. And then again, that goes back to what we were saying. Like, tonight is a unique night.
Right. Well, you guys have your dynamics. You've kind of, you've played around enough with each other. It's awesome to get other artists involved. You know.
It's fun to do different dynamics than what we're used to, because like it's gonna change what me and Matt both do, plus the rest of the band. So to us, like, the fact that you don't know exactly what's gonna happen is way more exciting
Oh
than
yeah.
knowing what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, I'm.
Seems like that's how he paints too.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
He kind of knows what he wants ultimately, but maybe not exactly how he's going to get there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's unique.
You want to explore how you're gonna get there in the moment, because that way it really is true to what you're feeling.
Oh, right on. Man, I cannot wait to see you guys perform. I really and his mural's really coming together. I can't wait to see how that
Yeah, it's
turns
gonna
out
be
too.
fun.
Yeah, man, I am just stoked in general. So the other thing I was trying to ask your bandmate here, we kind of talked about maybe a few sources of inspiration and stuff like that, but when you guys sit down to hammer out a song or to make something new, how does that go about? Like,
How do we create it? Or-
yeah, the process,
A lot of, like, so we co-write a lot of songs, me and Matt do, but we also both write on our own. And like, honestly, the way that we write is, it's not always like, let's write a song right now. Like, a lot of times I'll wake up at 2 a.m, or he'll just have to get a song out, and like all of a sudden you have all these thoughts in your head, and it's like a melody comes to mind, and it's like, I gotta get this out.
Right.
And like, sometimes I write a song in 15 minutes. Sometimes I think of a concept and it takes a few months to get out.
Right.
But like, it depends on the moment. The coolest moments are when you just like you sing something. This might sound weird, but a lot of times, like in the shower,
Yeah.
I sing.
I always sound best in the shower.
And,
Great acoustics.
Exactly. And literally, I'll get out of the shower and I'll get dressed real fast and I'll run to my guitar and notepad and
Right.
write down what I just did. I'm like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I hope when I hear it again the next day, it's
still
just
has
as
the
awesome.
same thing, yeah.
And if it is, it's like, wow, that worked. And that's
Yeah.
how we write some of our songs.
Oh, right on.
Or like sometimes one of us will have an idea, and then me and Matt will talk about what does this mean to us, and then from there you kind of like. But a lot of times it's honestly just like inspiration that just comes, and like sometimes you have to think about, okay, I want to write about something different, so you might have to like creatively think, but once it happens fast.
Yeah.
For us at least.
Right on. No, I feel like that's probably the case for a lot of artists, but there still is a lot of craft, right, that goes into. I mean, once you get an idea and it hits like that, it hits like a flash where you just know what to do. Then you have to go back and kind of tweak and work and figure out how it's going to work with the rest of the group's dynamic and that kind of thing.
Exactly. I mean, I always like to get the song out, and I don't like to harp on editing at the front at first, because I like to say I'm gonna get my emotion out, because that's what matters. And then let's edit, and I'm gonna ask people to be brutally honest. What do you think about this song? And let's constructively make it better. And like sometimes the song's good and there's something missing, and all that's missing is like the keyboard player. Jamie will just throw something down, and we're like, oh, all right.
All right.
My brother will throw a harmony down, and we're like, wow. That's what that needed.
Yeah, that filled
like,
out, yeah.
It's just someone else in the band adds a dynamic we didn't expect, and that can finish the song. But I agree with you that editing is it's something that, even though you don't always like to do it, I think it's kind of necessary myself.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of editing. I wish everything could just be off the cuff, spontaneous and great, but rarely the case. When you get those are the greatest
Man,
moments.
like we both, this is kind of funny actually, 2 songs we're playing tonight, Chance of Rain and Nothing But Me. He wrote Chance of Rain, I wrote Nothing But Me. We wrote it the same night, not with each other. The next day, we hang out most days, and we called each other. We're like, let's get together, because we were both pumped that I was going to show him my song. And I didn't know this, but he was going to show me his song.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I wrote this in like 20 minutes. It's like, dude, I wrote this in 20 minutes. They're completely different songs, completely different feels, but like there was no editing involved. This is the song. I had to get it out. He had to get his out, and they both just worked. It's just sometimes when it works in like 15 minutes, it's really nice.
Which one do you think, or I guess which one do you get more value from? Which one really means more to you? A song that you just get out and it's like, wow, that was it. Or a song that you've maybe worked on for months and really tweaked and put a lot of elbow grease and rearranged and stuff. Which one's?
That's a good question. As a songwriter, I would have to say that the songs that you come up with a concept and you really dedicate your time to, it's a challenge. Sometimes, like, I'm writing a song right now called I Blame John Wayne, and it's not done yet.
Okay.
And there's a lot of concept going into the song, that it's not just like, let's write down and see what happens and it works.
Right.
It's a lot of like, the personality, I'm creating a character, and I want to make sure that the personality of the character is very precise of what I want him to be. I want him to be raw and edgy, but I want him to really have a sympathetic value of he's trying to do the right thing, even though it might not seem like
trying
that.
to paint a whole character arc.
Yeah, so like that is more challenging, but when that song's done, it's almost done. It's going to be completely more rewarding because
put in
more
so much time.
But sometimes a song you write in 10 minutes, there's no better feeling than just being like,
That'll be the one you go back to. Yeah, on a bad day, you'll go listen to that one and be like, all right, yeah, no.
I feel good. Like,
I'm
that's
still
the song
good.
I wanted
I'm
to
good.
Get out.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, you're an artist too. Like, whatever you conceptually work on, and once you get exactly what you wanted out of that concept, there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
Right. For sure. Man. All right. So we've got through the inspiration, the process. I wish I had more of you guys on to talk about how you make it like a sustainable thing, how you turn it into a life, because that's what you guys are doing. You're doing your art to live off of, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So do you mean like?
How'd you guys get off the ground initially? How do you turn your art into something that is world sustaining for you guys?
Really, we've all been playing with different bands. Like, I've been playing with Matt since high school, my brother for a while too, and we've all been in different bands. And like when this band basically combined, we've all been through it a little bit, and we played different bands, and we knew, okay, this is the sound we want, and this is kind of like the persona we want, and like now we know we can book shows, so let's just go for it. And like from there, it's like, let's see what character happens from it,
Right on.
And like kind of get that character, and like we all book shows and have people that help us book, and from that, like that's how you.
Do you guys manage your own business, or do you have like a
No, we have
a
Matt Page is the guy that actually helps us out, helps us manage. But besides that, we do it ourselves.
Yeah, right on.
And we were just really hungry and want to do it. So like, we're like, booking isn't what we want to do the most, but we need to.
Right.
So all of a sudden we got excited about that, and it kind of helped out.
Yeah.
So like, but the biggest thing is, if we get to play 4 times a week, we get to play music that we wrote and covers that we put our own perspective on in front of a ton of people and sell our CDs and get people to know us. So like, it's just exciting to us. Now that we have product, it's like someone actually gets to bring us home with them, and like that's what kind of like inspires us to book shows.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is the biggest step to getting your art from a formative phase to like a actual sustainable part of your life is really having a product formed out that you're excited about, one, because everything's going to follow from passion and excitement, and I guess really, boiling down and having a quality product to put out. It seems like the process is, well, it's going to be ongoing to actually get something that's sustainable. You've already got to a place as a group and as a band where you're excited about not only what you guys could do, but what you've already got, and people need to hear it. You got to get it out
what
there.
We have, and at the same time, we always joke about that. Whatever we write lately is our favorite because we just wrote it, and so then it takes a little time.
Right.
If it stands the test of time, we know it's a good song.
Yeah.
But to add on to that, honestly, it might sound a little boring, but the business sense has helped us, knowing all right, we need to play as many shows as we can, and we need to do this and that. But so that has helped us get shows and get more fans. But I think what actually keeps the fans and gets them to want to buy our stuff is that they can see on stage we're excited about what we're playing.
Right.
Before, if you're not ready, it's not going to work. But if they look at our eyes and we're pumped about what we're playing, they're going to want to be a part of it because we're having fun.
Right.
And we are having fun. When we're not playing on stage, we're playing in front of no one for fun.
Yeah.
So it's because we do that anyways, it's a really fun process.
It's not hard. It's not forced. It's just passion coming out, man. That's great.
It's me and my brother have been playing forever, and with Boggs too. We always get together and we always joke we hang out with people and they probably get annoyed at times because we always play music, but then they always ask us to too. They're always hey, come play a song, and it's but we just love to come jam.
Who's gonna be hey, cut that beautiful music out? We don't need any of that here.
I know they like it, but we just, if we're hanging out and there's guitars around,
they're gonna get played.
I'm gonna pick it up. Matt's gonna pick it up, and James is gonna start beating on something, and that's just what's gonna happen. So
yeah, right on. I mean, that's great. It happens organically too, man. Yeah. And I think you guys need to get on stage soon. I really want to see you guys perform. Big ticket.
Well, yeah, if you go to provinceandoutlaws.com,
right on.
That's where you can check out videos of us, our songs, and then we're on iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff too.
Right on. One more time. Website.
It's www.provinceandoutlaws.com, and you can check out videos on YouTube. Go to Facebook, go to Twitter.
Twitter, Province and Outlaws, all the
Twitter,
same across the board.
Province and Outlaws, Facebook, Province and Outlaws.
Are you guys big up on the social media, putting out where you're going to be, your shows, stuff like that?
We definitely put out every show we have, so everyone can come see us.
Right on.
It's a lot in the Metroplex, but we're going to Lubbock, New Mexico soon, OU, and everywhere else. So.
Yeah, right on, dude.
And thanks for talking to us.
Oh man,
awesome.
it's been so great. You guys. Were definitely one of my best interviews for sure.
Oh, great.
So thanks so much for coming out and being a part, man.
Instead of collaborative, we kind of took turns, I guess.
Hey,
like that.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're all here. We're all here working together to make something great. One last sign off. It was great hearing from Province and Outlaws. These guys are amazing. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on Twitter, and lots more great art to come. Now, for your listening pleasure, this is Jasper's Cast with This House Is Not My Home. right, we are back here with Jeremy, the man with the plan, and Jasper's Cast playing in the background.
It's very weird to hear songs that I play drums on.
Right, this is your band.
Well, no, it's not my band. It's Eric's band.
Right.
It's Eric, and that's why he's the lead man on this now.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a band you play in. And we were talking about earlier all the things you do behind the scenes, trying to get this to happen. You and Brendan, the two main
yeah, I saw you talk to Brendan.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, that's cool.
And but what do you actually do for your art?
Well, I live in San Antonio. Brendan and I met because I was trying to run an art collective. Art collectives are weird. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Well,
they've been around for years.
What exactly is an art collective? I mean, besides just a bunch of people doing art and putting on shows together, just helping each other out.
Well, that's what it is. Essentially, I mean, like in a nutshell, that is what it is. There's varying degrees. What I wanted the art collective to be was something that anyone could come in and feel like their art was valuable. You know, like they could come in, they could say, you know, like, hey, I'm not like, this is just my passion. This isn't my job, you know. And then they could say, you know, I want to be a part of this in some way, shape, or form. So I had like 40 to 50 people, probably half to probably like maybe 60% were all Texas-based.
Right.
Others were Texas-based but abroad, you know, either in New York or California or wherever. So I started with the idea of having like Lilac Inferno. That was the name of the art collective. It started as a super group. We wanted to have like as many type of artists get on stage and play it was all about collaboration.
Right.
So we put on things happened. People moved out of cities and things were going on. And what really happened was basically we put on this art show called God Gave Us Las Vegas.
Great show.
Last year in San Antonio at a house. We had some issues with it. It was successful by most standards. There were some issues with the law, with Johnny Law.
Yeah, it can be tough.
But it was fun, man. We had it was kind of like this. We had live art going on. We had music going on. We had food, and we had people. We had people making their own stencils and spray painting their own T-shirts, like people that were just fans.
Right, collaborative art. That was a big part of the last show. You guys had a whole room covered in butcher paper, where it was the attendees' room to make art. You wanted to get everybody making art, and just real quick, the one difference that I've noticed from talking to you and Brendan just tonight is you've been talking about having everybody be able to do their art and come in, even if it's not their main thing that's supporting them. And Brendan and I were talking earlier about helping artists support them and make art their livelihood and what they do for a job rather than as a side hobby. So how do you bring those two together?
Yeah.
Where are you now with that? What is this doing?
The company mantra / we started something under mantra called Aulden Walker Productions. What we want to do is more events like this where people of varying degrees of expertise and varying degrees of
nice.
The types of art they do, the medium, the just everything. Like we want them all to come together. There's an art collective in San Antonio right now called Border Linnea, and they're doing basically what I wanted to do, except they don't have. It's not. It's a little bit more low key. It's basically just music and then art on display.
Okay.
And what I want to do is take it to the next level, which is, let's have, like right now we have Brian painting, and he's vibing off the music, that's like a live performance.
Right.
So basically the money we spend, we want music performance, art performance.
You have 3 live art performances tonight.
I mean, we tried.
There's a triptych upstairs, there's Brian on the mural, and there's the hanging installation piece, which is going up over the course of the night.
Yeah, and tonight we tried to make it more about the art. It's all about Pat Gorman tonight, really.
Amazing stuff.
And then when the headlining band Prophets and Outlaws goes on, they're gonna kind of take over because they're
super boss.
They're a rock band, so and they're gonna rock. And it's gonna be good.
I want to rock.
Mr. Boggs over here, sitting next to me, drinking beer, is he's well known around the hood of Dallas, and
local Dallas artist. I hear he's from Jesuit.
Local Jesuit Dallas artist. We're trying to just spread. I mean, we have so many friends and family members that are in this industry in one way or the other. So what I'm really just trying to build a company around the idea.
We are
Thank you-
live
thank
right
you,
now.
Barton.
It is
Thank you,
it
Barton.
is hectic out here. I apologize.
We're just trying to build an idea, around the idea of having as much type of art come together, but in the right way. Like our next event with Brian Bedford, whom I'm hoping we have a good interview at some point tonight, or at least tomorrow or something. But he really, for his next show, wants to have it really be about collaboration. Like we're gonna have,
Right.
I'm gonna be playing music, and he's gonna be painting. And we're gonna have a clay artist sculpting in the middle of the floor.
Oh, wow.
And basically what's going to happen is Brian's going to start painting, and then he's going to come over and play bass and loop some bass, riffs. And I'm going to vibe off of that, and then he's going to, go paint more, and then and then the clay artist is going to play flute.
Nice.
So like we want that.
Does she make the flute
collaboration.
first and then? No.
It's Brandon Goodwin. He's
Okay.
a dude, and it's
bad.
one of those like
I don't know why
it's one of
flautist.
those wooden flutes that
Okay.
Native American type sound
Oh, right
that
on.
comes out of it.
Oh, a pan flute?
Yeah, it's He's that's kind of the feel that we come from, and that's like what I wanted to do with my art collective, but it just is. It's kind of weird to do with an art collective because you don't really have money. You're just a collective of people.
Right.
So that's when Brendan came in, and he took my idea about the art collective, and we talked for like the year after we met was just insane. We just had so many great ideas. It was just really a matter of how can we do this? What does it cost? And so it took about a year for this to happen. I had already decided I was going to put on that other art show in San Antonio, regardless of Brendan. So God Gave Us Las Vegas was completely my creation.
Right.
Brendan helped me plan it.
Well, that seems kind of like the duality I was hitting at earlier, whereas you wanted it to be something where any artist can come in and do it, but the problem is if it's not your main thing where you're trying to get funding from it, it's hard to actually sustain that kind of movement, and Brendan's the guy who's looking to make it more of a worldly economical thing, so it takes both sides, I think. I feel like.
I take both sides too.
Oh, no, just saying, as the two guys who are kind of running things, those are the two sides that it's gonna.
Yeah, my
come
business
down
card
to.
reads artistic director, and that doesn't really mean shit. that just means I do everything Brendan doesn't do, which is a lot.
What's his title? Do you know what that? Oh.
He's the CEO.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what my real title is. Like in actuality, what my real title is.
Awesome.
Don't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
I really don't know. I was marketing director, then I'm creative director, then I was artist ambassador. Like titles are bullshit anyways.
Nice.
But the point is all the little details related to like knowing what a good art show can be, and no offense to Brendan, you don't have to air this, but
He's gonna
the
hear
first
it.
flyer that he put on, that he put out was just like literally a picture of Brian's art with words on it, and I was like, dude, that's not what we need. So like I deal with all the little shit. We both are always on the phone. We're always talking, trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
Full-time job.
It is a full-time job, and I have a part-time job, so it's
Right.
I'm working all the time. But as far as this event is concerned, I'm very happy. Literally, we set the last thing at 7:58, like 7:58 before 8 o'clock. We were setting up. It was stressful. So
It's amazing though. We transformed this space, which is a hair salon. Yeah.
In 3 hours.
Totally looks and feels like a gallery. It's a great show.
And I want to thank Claudio and Claudio and Valentino for letting us do this, because they just literally put blind faith in us. I feel like for a while they literally thought we were just a bunch of hippies who were gonna have a bunch of like dirty people coming in here and like getting way too drunk and smoking pot and shit, and really like
very opposite.
Lydia's installation coming together, like it looks way more badass than I think Claudio thought it was gonna happen as. So
right.
It's been an interesting experience. I hope this Trinity Groves thing. Did Brendan talk to you about that already?
Brendan did not.
He didn't talk about it? Okay, so
No.
regardless of whether it's going to be at Trinity Groves, we have things lined up for the future here in Dallas. I'm considering moving back to Dallas, but I don't want to.
Right on.
No offense to Dallas, I just like living in San Antonio. And I want to do things in San Antonio because there's a lot of just very organic, family, like, chill stuff going on there.
San Antonio is that kind of town.
Very different city.
Yeah.
Very different vibe. Like something like this wouldn't happen the same way. It'd be very much more. I don't know. I'm not gonna say what just came to my mind, but
Don't.
It's very town. It's like a big town.
Yeah.
It's a big ass town.
Right.
This is a city.
For sure.
We're in Dallas. This is a big city. So.
Get them city folk.
starting to rain.
It might be starting to rain here, and we are outside. This could be
it
bad.
might be raining, so we might have to take this inside. But okay. Well, but I'm just gonna continue off what I'm saying. Like, me and Brendan have a good duality going.
Yeah.
So there's the business side. Both of us have different minds about the business side. Both of us have different minds about the creative side. Brendan loves music. He
Takes all
plays
kinds.
Music. I play music. You know, my little brother does art.
Everybody involved in this is an artist in a respect,
much.
one
I mean,
respect or
in
another, and
one
that's
way
what's
or
amazing. Yeah.
One way or another.
So we are here live from Gioia Salon. This is the first Gioia. Yeah, that is and the theme of the night is joyous occasions, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, for sure. Well, I'm here with one of the great minds behind putting this on. One of the people that without whom it would not be possible, Jeremy Leigh.
That's very true.
Man, this has been a lot of work.
It has been a hectic whole month. And especially the last couple days.
I bet now that things are started, is that you starting to feel a little better? Like things are rolling now.
There's people here. There's people rolling. There's a lot of great art on the walls. We got Brian Bedford painting a mural over on one of the walls near one of the bands that's playing right now. Ha Ha Radicals is playing. That's Peter Hensel and Josh Glenn. And basically, they're just a two-piece spoken word, poetry, and an acoustic guitar with looping and effects and stuff like that. Also good to note is Peter Hensel is releasing tonight at this event his novel entitled A Gospel According to a Robot, which is a sci-fi novel. It's kind of quirky, and I've read some of it, but he had to send them back to get proof. So I haven't read the whole thing yet, but
seems really cool though.
It's a cool concept, and I was around him so the whole time he was coming up with the idea. So I know what it's about. I know kind of where it's going to go. So. But I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, right on. So who else do we have tonight? Upstairs, dedicated to Pat Gorman.
Yes, Patrick Gorman. He did an installation with glass. On a previous podcast, we kind of captured his motivations behind it. He's really big into meditation. That kind of is his thing that keeps him centered.
You see a lot of his art too, and there's like Ganesha is in one of them.
Yes, a lot of spiritual.
Yeah,
a lot of spiritual influence.
Seems like a big part of it, for sure.
And I think he's got over 60 pieces up there, some big, some small, a lot of small ones, little sketches that he framed and stuff. Anything ranging from like $20 all the way up to like, $250, $300. All for sale. Some of it on silent auction. So, and then also upstairs we have Eliana Miranda. She's painting a triptych right now, which is a 3-paneled painting. And I was up there. It looks like it's of a woman. I saw her painting over her face with some skin tone earlier. Very blue on the background and the border.
There's one more artist up there too, right? It's a
yes. His name's Ben Mayer. It was kind of a last minute thing, but he helped He helped Pat. And he helped him do the glass work on that. I don't think he was the primary blower on that. I'm not 100% on that fact, but basically, he's got a bunch of really awesome glass, vases and other just great glass art up there, also for sale. So there's a lot of stuff, and then hanging from the ceiling down through the stairwell, we got there is an installation. I believe it's made of plaster and wire, and I don't know how to describe that. You just have to see this one in person.
It's really groovy looking.
But that was a very last minute. We were stressing about it and prepping because of weight, tension, and all of this stuff. So it came together at the last minute.
And for those who missed the show and are catching this a little late, we will be posting pictures and video from everything. So if you want to see anything that we're talking about, it'll all be up online.
For sure. We're going to have that. I'm on a podcast right now, Father.
That's okay. All right. If you got things you got to handle, you are the guy behind this, so feel free to step away and handle your business.
That is true. I will attend to this, and we will resume podcast post. We'll get some more in-depth coverage on the issue.
There's great initial breakdown of what's going on and all the things that are to come. Hopefully, I'll get to talk to all these artists individually, and they can kind of give me a bit, and I'd like to talk to you more about your art and what you do besides just kind of masterminding this and making everything happen for all these great people. So.
All right, yeah, we'll do that. I'll be back shortly.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank.
Next up, we got another haha radical track for you. This is Love Song Without a Barrier. Enjoy.
Oh sure, I still believe in love, but I refuse to let it simply be a 4-letter word. It should be so much longer than that, with a bunch of syllables you gotta remember how to pronounce correctly, like some kids trailing after you in the park, all excited because they just got out for the first time. But I mean, you gotta keep close track of those kids and make sure they don't wander off too far, and you also can't make sure that you keep your love too close and bound up. Yeah, when you say love, a flurry of consonants should come out, a vocal jujitsu that only the most studious and athletic could ever hope to pronounce. To say it correctly should take a year of practice, and to put it in a sentence, decades and decades of syntactical servitude. That way, only the most truly devoted could ever mean the word and truly be able to say it. Love as pronounced by Ha Ha Radical.
Woke up to the sunlight, it was beaming in my eyes. You were still asleep in your bed with the moonlight. Close my eyes and kiss your lips. If you're dreaming now, please dream of this.
And I just pray it ain't too late to be speaking of us as yet to be in the best way of our being. I've been a lot of things, that midnight Buddha on your couch, a lost soul thinking that he came out, a quiet mouth but a rich amount of laughter still comes out. When our eyes find each other, just your style was how I first arrived at these feelings. And then the real thing reared its head, but we chose to let it rest instead. But it was never dead, transported through space to our ears through the grace of a cell phone where the shape of a novel took its form. And the text that we sent back and forth now is the latest chapter. Let us make some lore, and then make some more, and then make some more. You'll have to compile it. And I just pray it ain't too late to let our hips sway to the chance of life as we rehearse for the noble dance. Love, it always asks that we perform. Let's see what happens in our new and shiny uniforms. Come and make some food, come and make some music. Let the walls vibrate with the tenor of your voice. Never lose it, I've never forced a choice, but all these feelings form the noise that I can never close out. You love the sun so much, I just hope we go outside, go outside. And the truth is when we move, the fantasy is when we're still here in hearts and groove. We got them rhythms under moons that light our quiet talk. We walk to find a tranquil mood, but then another comes to take control of you, and I just let it happen. I can't imagine ever trapping you into another you that I have imagined. I'ma let you do you, and you would let me do me. But when we get together, we gotta switch the roles. Let our language be performed between each other in a symphony of gestures. We won't need a conductor, because we'll have each other. I wanna hear your thunder, 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 thunder. destiny can find a swag and peace. Come up and grab the beat, I will expose my battery. You brought me closer to my friends. You showed me the deep end, and you let me know that some things end. How to pretend, how to find the truth and pain. I ain't the same this game, it came, so blame each other, then we're back to friends. But how to send messages of all the things we've come to do, of all them truths we've come to prove unshrewd. Yeah, I'm blue and speaking lewd and gripping to the fact that I have never been rude and never had a clue, at least about you, and not even really about me, and certainly not about us.
This kind of section is just for people who've come out to the show to say what they've liked about it, what they've enjoyed about the night, and hopefully get other people to come out to future events. So, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, art fans?
Well, I'm Joe.
I'm Kristen.
Right on. And you guys from Dallas?
Yep.
No, originally from Los Angeles, but I live
Womp, 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 womp. No, I'm just kidding. We're like the mini LA, though, so not too bad, not too bad.
But I will say, however, my favorite artist by far is Elena.
Mm-hmm. Doing the triptych upstairs?
Yes.
Yes, right on.
Upstairs, who she brought in this canvas, which was only like done, the sketch was done, it was done in blues.
Right.
And since then, she's added in all the color. And I mean, it's completely blown away. It's a self-portrait of herself sitting
Right
on
on.
these stairs.
Uh-huh.
And her light and her color, I mean, just within the time frame she had, I can't even imagine. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how she pulled it together, but when you go into her book, into the portrait she has on the wall, you can see her lines, her definition. I mean, the girl is up and coming and amazing.
Ah, right on. Yeah, no, I saw some of her stuff. It all looked great.
Especially with the woman who's sort of
With the chains.
emaciated, you know,
Yeah.
and sucked in. Yes, with the chains,
Right.
like really paints that picture of what us women have to go through. I mean,
Right.
yeah, she was nailing some great concepts up there.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, a lot of her stuff, the tired office worker, like that's
yes.
so
the one
so,
falling under the like pile of like boxes
Right.
and just files and
that's got to be so relatable to everybody nowadays. And then the chained woman, also a very, I mean, she's I guess more of a political artist than a lot of the ones we have. She makes a lot of social commentary. She's trying to talk about what's going on in
Exactly.
the world. She's got the other, I guess, gangster pieces. You know,
the super bad.
yeah,
Yes.
super bad. Just
That was
representing,
nice.
you know, different aspects of our culture and society, and really taking a stance on it. It's great to see.
Especially and I liked the one with the gangster with the gun, showing it from a different culture. Because let's face it, when you show the urban culture and sort of the gang atmosphere,
Right.
a lot of times it is depicted as only African American or Hispanic. And it was really interesting because she pulled the Asian culture into it, which is
Right.
predominant here and from where I'm from. So I just love that she was playing with different stereotypes, different, you know, kind
Yeah,
of
right on.
issues in our culture today. It was, she was putting it right in your face, but doing it in a way that it was just like introspective.
Right,
You were
philosophy
you were
meets
thinking,
art.
right, exactly. It
Yeah.
wasn't just something that was like, oh gosh, you know, I see that every day.
Yeah.
It was more think about it, take a step back.
Right.
And
She's pushing you a little bit more. She takes a little bit
Exactly.
more removed meta stance, I guess, on what's going on around her and what she wants to speak
Making
to
you
in her
think.
pieces. Yeah, love it.
I'm a big fan of the strawberries, not gonna lie.
Strawberries are delicious. We have a lot of those
You know,
here this evening.
I'm a foodie.
I take offense to that, seeing as I'm allergic to strawberries, but that's okay.
Shit happens.
Joe, what was your favorite piece from tonight?
My favorite piece was probably the octopus upstairs.
Oh yeah,
that's a beautiful piece, and what I was told was kind of like that meditation piece, and it was just that it's calm to look at. It's beautiful. It's a good piece.
The meditation piece being the same one, the triptych we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And you know, just the way it was done, the colors in it is very just calming. It's beautiful. The way that it's blown and the way that just the colors flow together. It's a really nice piece. And actually, like if I had the money to buy it, I totally would. But I don't know if it's for sale or not.
I'm
but
definitely buying something to Pat's. Those little those little ones on the wall.
I mean,
very
Pat's
accessible.
great, and I mean, I love that I had the honor to be able to hang some of that stuff up, and even with Brian and just watching Eric work tonight too, and all the different layers that he's putting on there is a great thing to look at. It's nice to see that art's alive in a lot of people. So.
Right on, yeah. I'm most excited to see Brian's mural when it's finished.
Oh, when that's done, it's gonna be
just because it's the whole process of the night. You know, I've seen it at different stages. I keep going in and out, and I just think it's gonna be incredible when it's all said and done.
Oh, it will be. But I'm still here for the strawberries.
All lots of strawberries. I'm a fan of peaches myself. But,
I mean, I'll tell you, if you feel a chocolate fountain, it might be all right. But, you know. And, you know, I actually love, like, we're happy to see all these people come out. It's nice. It's good. It's refreshing.
I feel like we're all making one big piece of art just by everybody being here and communing and getting to know each other.
Yeah, I guess a living piece of art would be.
Right, yeah. You know, I mean, it only exists in this space for a short amount of time, but, you know, we all come together to kind of create this great atmosphere and this fun event where we're all trying to build each other up and, I don't know, see some amazing, beautiful things. So that's what it's all about.
And I'm definitely looking forward to the next one and all that. I mean, it's great that Claudio was able to let us do this here.
Very generous man.
Yeah, definitely. And
put a lot of faith in us, just kind of let us run wild, and I don't think he's going to be too disappointed. This has been amazing so far.
No, I don't think so. I think he enjoyed it. I mean, we're all a bunch of goofy sons of bitches, and so why not have fun with art and a couple of drinks and some good music?
Yeah, right on.
That's really how we all get enjoying.
Yeah, broad spectrum of people here this evening.
But still, the strawberries.
Agreed, 100%. Well, yeah. Thanks for talking to me, guys. I really
thanks.
appreciate it.
I gotta go to Seattle for my next interview, but it's a pleasure. And after that,
I know.
Tokyo. So.
Catch you the next time we're in town.
Thank you, Yoko. Appreciate it. Deuces.
All right. Thanks. All right, now one more track from Prophets and Outlaws.
Rain rolling down my window, put a wrench in everything I had today. And so I canceled all my plans. I'm gonna find a new solution right away. When I'm down, head underwater to ease my woes, I sing out my sins with the ones I love the most. You can find me at the soul shop, where my daddy taught me how to rock, and my mama played the 88 top. I sing harmonies. And when you find me at the soul shop, I'll be dancing on the rooftop with the rhythm of the raindrops. Sing the melody. Mama told me, son, you will find the rainy days are the truly special ones. So take what you're given and do your best at living as you go through this heavy world. Don't forget to love. When I'm down, head underwater to ease my woes, I sing out my sins with the ones I love the most. You can find me at the soul shop, where my daddy taught me how to rock, and my mama played the 88 top. I sang harmony. And when you find me at the soul shop, I'll be dancing on the rooftop with the rhythm of the raindrops. I sang the melody. Na na na, na 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 na. at the soul shop, where my daddy taught me how to rock, and my mama played the 80 guitar. I sing harmonies, and when you find me at the soul shop, I'll be dancing on the rooftop, with the rhythm of the raindrops, sing a melody.
Okay, well, we are back, and we're here with Mike Genecov.
Yes, we are.
Audience member, part of the documentation team, little bit of filmer. What do you think of the show so far, man?
Well, I really enjoyed it. Let's see. Most of the time I've been filming, most of everything. I keep going back and seeing the different artists, and mostly watching Brian do his thing.
Amazing.
Over on the
Amazing work.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell. I can't wait till he takes the tape off.
Tape off. I think that's the piece I'm most excited about towards the end of the night. I really want to see how that comes together.
Me too, man. So far, I've seen these beautiful red clouds.
Yeah, those are sick.
And this amazing sunset kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to turn out like, but it looks.
It's supposed to be. It's going to be a landscape. But the way he works with layers and paint is just so amazing to me.
So beautiful. The way he mixes the colors as it's going on, watching it come to fruition is just absolutely incredible.
He's amazing with color and uses every single fucking one.
He sure does.
He is boss. What's your favorite piece so far that you've seen?
Well, other than I really like Brian's oil painting.
The star.
The star.
Yes.
I mean, coming from that tarot background that you've taught me.
Oh yeah, we could go deep on that.
We can go deep on that, but we'll go on another tangent. But other than that one, I'd have to say Pat Gorman's his Barker piece,
the Travis
Barker piece,
yeah,
is incredible.
The aerosol and acrylic.
Yes, that one's incredible.
That's amazing. I mean, it's such an interesting style too, man. It's like half graffiti, half fine art.
And Travis Barker totally gets that exactly.
Yeah, it makes so much sense to do that piece in that style, man.
It really does.
That's some vision right there.
And his tattoos come out perfectly, and his whole style, it's incredible. And other than that one, I really like the Ganesh as Cthulhu.
Yeah.
That one's, I mean, just the detail going into that is just.
Some of his just ink and paper stuff is unreal, man.
It's
the figures
so
that he
crazy.
comes up with. He uses a lot of geometry in his stuff too. Like he has a really refined aesthetic, I guess. Like that one piece with the where it's lines, but he does them all in different thicknesses, so it ends up giving the shaded.
On that astronaut girl.
The space girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I think. Man, if I had $100, it would be Pat's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, if I had $100 to spend on art, it would definitely be Pat's. No doubt.
Just because that's amazing. I guess he does that kind of like production art thing where he's got a lot of pieces to sell and they're reasonably priced. Really like what he's doing. I think what he's doing fits with this kind of venue and this format really, really well.
Perfect. Yeah. And if I had $20, I don't know how much they cost, but just the little Keep Ellum Deep.
Those are both already sold. Keep Ellum Deep was one of my favorite ones, but they both sold. I'm going to be buying a small print for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm letting everybody else kind of get their pick because I like them all. But
yeah, for sure, man. I also love the what he was doing on the postcards or whatever. I don't know what those were.
The mailing slips, like the UPS mailing slips.
Yeah, the UPS mailing slips. Those are cool.
Yeah.
Just the fact that what they were on and I just thought that was real cool. And the graffiti ones, especially on that, I thought it was cool.
The Seek.
Yeah.
Any of the Seek pieces I thought were awesome. It's a cool message done kind of graffiti style and always with something else artistic. I think my favorite one was the Seek, and it had like a bunch of people in the background. There's like a guy smoking
Did you see
tobacco
the one?
pipe.
I really like the one with the X-Men.
Yeah.
There was one with X-Men.
Yeah.
That one was sweet.
Yeah. His skateboard deck too, I thought was amazing.
Oh, dude, I love that skateboard deck. If I skateboarded or would actually put a skateboard up in my home,
right? Dude,
definitely.
Yeah, if I skateboarded, I would have skateboard art, but I don't.
Yeah.
And if I skateboarded and that was the bottom of my deck, that would also be sick. I mean, it's obviously way too nice for that.
Yeah, the highlight of my skateboarding career, I went down a quarter pipe once and I ollied.
Woo!
Just so you know. Just so you know. That's how cool a skateboarder I am.
Skateboarding is hard. All right, well, what was your favorite band? We had 3.
This last one right here is really, really good right now. Boggs is the guy's last name. But I thought Eric was fantastic. The way he plays the dulcimer.
Yeah.
I just think that's he's really good.
Yeah, what was the name of that band? Jasper's Cast.
Jasper's Cast.
Yeah, they're good. They're big in San Antonio. They have a pretty big following.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them play a couple times in college, and not our school's shows, and they pulled crowds. They're really good.
Yeah, I really like that. I don't know. It's been a really cool show. Also, Lydia's piece I really liked.
Mm-hmm. It actually turned out a lot better. No, I don't want to say that because that sounds like I was shitting on it earlier. But I guess I couldn't really see what it was supposed to look like she could. You know, it's an installation piece that's kind of taken shape as she's hung the rest of it to really give it that kind of space. But before it was just a few, and it seemed.
Yeah, before all we saw was just the little plaster pieces,
right.
And we really couldn't see it hanging like it was. But it turned out really.
When you
really
just
nice.
see the elements, you're kind of disenchanted by it. You don't get to see the piece as a whole. And now that it's taken shape, it really does look amazing. It's pretty cool.
Hey Barton, did you hear that fart? Okay, good.
There you go. Yeah, I got to dust off my mic now. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been a great show. The turnout has really amazed me.
Great success.
Great success. And yeah, thanks for talking to me, man.
Nice talking to you too, Aaron.
Yeah, appreciate it. Next show, hope to see you. Hope to see
show?
everybody.
I hope to see you next show, sir.
Yeah, right on.
It's not like we live together or anything.
All right, let's get it.
All right, next we've got another track. This is Bandmates Implicit Eye Contact by Haha Radical.
Give me a song, 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 instead of waiting for it to arrive. Give me a song. My lord, you have me searching for a song that will become me. You have me scanning through the eyes that have been moving in the crowd, and I've been looking for the one who knows how to be loud. As I wander, I just ponder, never stopping very long. A performance here and there, but every place will change the song. And some echoes make it quiet, some smiles make it dance, but the chance of handsome scars instead invites my body into awe. Yeah, I don't even know what I want the song to do. Penetrate me with its beauty or embrace my every move, and just to groove is how I've been always getting by. But baby, now I want a song. I wanna make us cry. Give me a song, give me a song. But please don't make it too long. Give me a song, give me a song. Man, this feeling's pretty strong. Yeah. Give me a song, give me a song. Come and listen to my rhyme schemes, then I'll tell you my rhyme tunes. Give me a song, give me a song. Yeah, I'll make this morning something to remember. In a club, in your bathtub, anywhere can be a stage. Yeah, I'll make them timid birds quiet after cause they curve. Something to remember. Maybe even in December, I can feel the sea, the relief of a breeze gently leaving through the hands and knee. With the beat, yeah, this'll be complete. And you can get off my ass. Give me a song. Give me a song. Give me a song. Now this feeling's kinda gone. Give me a song. Give me a song. Maybe next time. Yeah, and I've been searching for a first line, the thirsty kind that would drink you up. I'm looking for a last line, a pastime that's aggravating. All the patience time is taking makes me want to start recording. I didn't just start with the mic and a beat. I started with the pulse of my heart and then a little bit of metal, so that others can hear my voice. It parts the confusion in a choice like Moses did with water. The earth's daughters always come out harder, and I can hurt you so much I can make you cry. If I were to reveal the mechanics of you and I, come on a stage and you feel my rage. I got that microphone and I'ma put it to the dome. You just do it with chrome. You ain't gonna get it nowhere. You ain't gonna get it home. I'm gonna take a smooth break. Give me a home. Give me a home. Or is that a place you can take a break from? Give me a home. Give me a home. You want me to give you a home? Let me tell you what I know about a home. Home is a place where you cannot feel homeless. It's like a place that you can go when it's cold but there's some times when you don't want to go. It's those times when you get the blows to the back and forth to the dome and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm alone in a place that's full of people. Yo, this place is supposed to be the equivalent to a steeple. By steeple I mean church. Oh, cause that's how he built his rock upon his people, not a bench you getting slapped across your mouth. Oh, but that don't happen in every single home. I'm being a little pessimistic, so let me turn up a tone. Oh, okay, I will. I will be there with you when you turn off the light. I will be there with you when you turn off the light. I will be there with you. As we wear from your brain, and that's what we remain, even after we leave. Even after we leave. Even after we leave. We don't do it. We don't do it with our hearts on the sleeve. We do it coming from our veins that begin. That blood everywhere it needs to go. And like a blood flowing with the white blood cells, we make it immune to that lame shit we do it with this thing. Song they be clueless. They don't know how we do it. Science is yet to catch a vocabulary too hard to handle. It's scary.